ISPO Munich 2021 presents the official e-sport of world sailing. 8 teams are going to compete. 1 team will be crowned winner. LDLN from Spain, led by team captain Jose. Club Náutico Sevilla from Spain, led by team captain Ramon 732. Downwind Esports based in Denmark, led by team captain and national champion Lucas Moore. Ukrainian Esailing Squadron, led by team captain 767. Team USA, led by team captain Bradley Adam. MCES Italia, led by team captain and former world champion Filippo Lanfranchi. Team Scotland, led by team captain and Nations Cup champion Mike O'Donovan. Team VIT, led by team captain Farley. Starts the 18th of January 2100 UTC, semi-finals and grand final on the 2nd of February at 1900 UTC.
Hello and welcome to all of you e-sailing fans sitting around the world. As we normally said, good morning, good evening and good afternoon to all of you. But also a special welcome to all of you sitting at the ISPO Munich event at the moment, pumping in here after the eSport topic. I hope I'm going to showcase a very good example of e-sailing to you tonight. We have a special treat. We have some of the best players in the world in these 4 races we are going to see tonight. We're actually going to see 3 races, but it's going to be a huge battle in team race format. It's going to be 2 semifinals and 1 grand final. And we're going to start off all by myself in studio today. I have some special presents coming in also. I will be joined in by our elite sportsman, our pro sailor, e-sailor, Lucas Moore later. But suddenly the national TV station called him and said, hey, we want you on TV tonight, where you're going to present e-sailing TV for the whole country of Denmark, because something new, something huge is coming in there. And then we'll be joined in by Olympic commentator, America's Cup commentator, the voice of world sailing, Mr. Alec Wilkinson, live from London also. He will also join in, but same as Lucas, the phone just rang, so he's doing an interview about e-sailing. So he will join in semi-final 2. So the first hour, or maybe first half hour, you will survive with me. You will have some fun together with me, but it's not going to be boring, trust me. What's coming up, it's the semi-finals and the grand final in in the ISPO Munich Invitational, Team Race Invitational. We had 8 teams in the start from all around the world, from USA to Ukraine to Spain to Denmark to Germany, France, Italy, a lot of players coming up. And tonight we're going to see 4 teams in action. We're going to see a real sailing club, Club Nautical Sevilla from Spain. And that's actually sailing club members in a very high level in e-sailing. Then we're going to Scotland, and there we will have some of the British sailors. And I have to say the British sailors because 5 of them won the Nations Cup Challenge that was showcased on the Olympic TV channel. And they are in here together with some new upcoming talents and representing their own team in the community of Scotland. And then in the other semi-final, we will see the beautiful pictures. We have a young guy, Arthur Farley. He's in charge of an e-sailing organization, or more an e-sailing team. They are not quite an organization yet. He has, I have to say, they are quite favorites tonight. Those young lads there, they know something about the game. Arthur is joined in by players from Netherlands, Portugal, actually a little bit around the world. But one of his players from the Netherlands is Bartlam Briggs. He's a 49er sailor for the Dutch national team and also qualified for the Olympics together with his teammate Pim van Woo. And then they're going to battle MCS Italy, or Italia as they're called, as Alec Wilkinson will say to me. They are led by the former world champion 2019, Willis the 7-1, also known as Filippo Lanfranci, and they are a little bit more up age, but the Italians know how to do. So what's going to happen tonight is we are going in to have a great battle, and the first races is going to be set already. But before we're going in to start the races, let's just have the format, what it's all about. And here we have the format. It's made in sailranks.com. It is a scoring system developed by the community to showcase e-sailing, so we really can have fast scoring in between races. You can also use it for real sailing because you can really put things in there. But the first battle is a BO5, best of 5 races. It's team race format, so we're going to have a 5 versus 5 in a laser, 4 versus 4 in a J17, 3 versus 3 in the F50, that's the Sail DP boat, and 2 versus 2 in a J70, and a 1 versus 1 in the final in the Star boat. But the first team to win 3 races will win the regatta. So let's start the races. Let's go in and have some action. Let's join in and see what it's all about. Here we are, here we go. This is the laser. This is with a Danish flag on today. It's because it's the e-sailing committee boat, the race officer there. But here we have Club Nautical Sevilla, they are green tonight. Against the Team Scotland, they are blue. And I have to say to the Scottish fans out there, way to go Scotland. Let's see if you can do a great job here. We have the team captain from Club Nautical Sevilla. He's not in here. Yeah, he's there. It's Ramon, vice world champion this year. And then we have a team captain from the Scottish team, Deja Vu, but he's not playing. He's saving himself. Then let's take Donny Gillis instead of. He was team captain on the national team of Britain. 12 seconds to start. It's team race. It's all about winning as a team. The team with lowest points are winning the race. So it's not about winning the race. It's all about getting as low points as possible. Start is going, some small penalties, speedy one, false start for C. Paparo. He is one of the Paparo brothers. They are a whole crew there in the Club of Nautical Sevilla. So it's almost like the Dalton brothers from Lucky Luke. That is the Paparo brothers. But in the lead we have Rostan, oh no, it's Deja Vu. He just changed his sponsor name. Deja Vu, the young talent Mike O'Donovan sitting at home penalizing Ramon in that battle. Opposite side, Jay Paparo coming up, and see, they're doing it in a laser, so they are going on upwind. They're doing 4 legs, as it's called in sailing, and they're pumping the boat to get some speed into it. In real sailing, you're also pumping the laser. Here we have Donny Gillis, the British champion 2019. Right now, it's quite a split fleet. It's they're trying to battle for positions upwind. Jay Paparo in the lead. Club Nautical Sevilla has the first and third. Donny Gillis in second. Déjà Vu in fourth. And then we have the rest of the fleet. And remember, it's team race. It's all about having low score. So what will happen when we're coming up to the first top mark up there is going to be a battle for slowing down the fleet. And we'll also see opposite normal sailing penalties handed out. Dude it with a penalty. He's an unwritten letter. He's one of the new talents coming in Team Scotland, getting a penalty by Luis Ispan. And he's penalized there. And then we see Donny Gillis losing the battle to Jay Paparo. Club Nautical Sevilla means business. Oh, Donny Gillis with another one. Right now, here we see the difference from real sailing and e-sport. It is an e-sport, so it's all about winning using the rules. And one of the rules are using the rules of sailing. But one of the rules that's not in here is almost the fair play rule, special when it's team races. Because the way you slow down people is handing out a penalty in the game, and that will slow down a competitioner or one of your opponents for 11 seconds. It's Déjà Vu in the lead, but he will not be in the lead. Jay Paparo covering it. Opposite side, we have a battle. Bill Rock getting a penalty. He's the oldest one in this race. He's 51 years old, and he was part of the national team of Team Great Britain when they won the Nations Cup League. Rouse and Lark coming in. Ramon needs to bear away, or else he was handing out a starboard penalty there. We also saw Rouse and Lark going away from Déjà Vu, and actually a very good move there. Déjà Vu in trouble, getting a penalty, a starboard penalty by Jay Paparo. Club Nautical Sevilla is taking themselves into the lead. They now have the cards to do what we call in team race a wind block up here. See, Déjà Vu slows down. They're covering him. He knows if he's getting hidden. There are 2 rules in the mark rounding. The rule of the inside turn and the rule of starboard port side. And there we see Déjà Vu knowing those rules to perfection, handing out 2 penalties and going into second place and slowing down the whole Club Nautical Sevilla fleet just to make sure that his teammates can get close enough. See how he's slowing down. Wind block coming up. They are sailing into him. Penalties handed out. 5 penalties in this top mark rounding by Déjà Vu. And now they're going downwind for the action. It's 5 versus 5. It's all about getting as few points as possible. In the lead, we have Rouse and Lark from Club Nautical Sevilla. But is that good enough to be up there? Remember, it's all about has as less points as possible. Right now, we can do the mathematics. And right now, Club Nautical Sevilla are in the lead. Going downwind, penalties handled out. Speedy one. Also sitting in Scotland at the moment. Ali there. He's getting a penalty in the battle against the others. And for those of you who don't know sailing, it might be a little bit confusing watching right now. But there are starboard rules and portside rules right away. And a rule, don't hit the mark, then you're also getting a slowdown penalty. And right now, we are going upwind. So, how do these sailors getting their speed into the wind? Watch the top left corner. There is a radar up there. This radar is showing the wind pattern that will happen. And then you also need to watch for colors on the water, like in real sailing and in the radar. If it's dark, there's a hard breeze. If it's light, there's a lighter wind. Right now, it's a lighter wind. The wind pattern is a little bit mixed. So, what to do right now for Club Nautical Sevilla? It's all about defending first, second, third, and fourth. And they're doing quite a good job right now. Team Scotland, the British team, are in trouble. Speedy with a penalty. Donny Gillis with a penalty. Dudit is in trouble. Bill Rock trying to attack C. Paparo. Oh, C. Paparo sails into him and get a penalty the opposite way. Déjà Vu in position 6. He's the only one that can do a comeback for his team. But see there, Ramon, the Vice World Champion 2020. He lost on the finish line literally on the finish line in the World Championship final in the middle race to Jon Cardona from Spain also. And actually, he got 7th position where Jon won the middle race. That was doing 1 point in between them. So losing with 1 point there. Dudit coming in. Oh, trying to avoid getting a penalty. Hitting the mark. It looks so great for him. But hitting the mark, slowing him down from 11 seconds. And that's what happens. So right now, it looks very good for Club Nautical Sevilla. So how can they come back in the race, the British team? Bill Rock we have here. Well, let's see the 2D view. We can see there's a wide area in front of him. That's the wind shadow. And the wind shadow is dirty air, slowing down the opponent. And right now he's trying to capture Luis. But Luis doing a great defensive position. And with that great defensive position, it really looks like that Club Nautical Sevilla are going to win this one. So, let's see here. Donny Gillis attacked by C. Paparo. Right now, top 2 is going to Club Nautical Sevilla. Then we have 2 other positions. Bill Rock, Dudit right now. They just want to hit Luis up there. And C. Paparo losing this battle. This might change the whole point system. 1st and 2nd goes to Club Nautical Sevilla. 3rd and 4th go to Team Scotland. But Club Nautical Sevilla gets 5th, and now it's all about who will lose it. It's all about points. It's the battle with Speedy and J. Paparo. It's the battle with C. Paparo and Deja Vu. Donny Gillis, they need to make C. Paparo lose it. No, Speedy losing to J. Paparo on the finish line. This is giving the points also Donny Gillis. It's giving race number 1 goes to Club Nautical Sevilla. But before calling it, then we just need to have a confirmation from the race officers and Sil ranks. Here we have the result. Rouse and Lark with a victory. Ramon in 2nd. Bill Rock and Dudit in 3rd and 4th. Luis in 5th. Deja Vu in 6th. C. Paparo in 7th. Dolly Gillis in 8th. J. Paparo in 9th. Speedy in 10th. Then we have some stats here. Stats are very important in sailing, but in team race, it doesn't mean that much. It's more the next chart we're going to see. But Rouse and Lark with the best start. Then we can see the best maximum speed for J. Paparo. Bill Rock sailed the shortest distance. And according to this, Donny Gillis, 33 penalties. I'm not sure that I've never seen that many penalties, but maybe he started outside the starting zone, handling a lot of penalties. Here we can see a very exciting chart showing the battles, what's happening. We can see Bill Rock and Dudit was winning the battle. That's 3rd and 4th. Winning the battle against Luis in the start, but Bill Rock, he started in last position, but ended up 3rd in this team race. Deja Vu started in 2nd, ended up 6th. But he's also one of the top sailors that the team is going to cover. Right now, we are waiting for sail ranks to be updated. I'm pretty sure we have the result coming in a few seconds. Whoa! This is one of the closest call. Are we sure of this call? We are getting some mathematics in there. According to sail ranks, we have quite a surprise. We're having the score in here, 5v5. 1st and 2nd goes to Club Nautical Sevilla. 3rd and 4th go to Team Scotland. Then we have Luis and from Nautical Sevilla in 5th. Scotland in 6th. Nautical Sevilla in 7. 8 goes to Scotland. 9th goes to Club Nautical Sevilla, and Speedy gets last. But let's see the overall score. That's the most interesting part. Who will get the first part? First score. Team Scotland wins with 1 point on the finish line against Club Nautical Sevilla. So 1-0 for Team Scotland. That's how this race ended. And what a surprise. And Bradley Adam from USA say, hey, it doesn't fit. There's something wrong. I'm also pretty sure, but we can just do the math. I'm taking it in. But right now, the race officers are looking it through again because my mathematics saying Club Nautical Sevilla might have been winning this one. So that is a point for Club Nautical Sevilla. Race number 2. let's get ready for it. It's coming up. It is 4v4. So we're just waiting for the race officers to create the race, and then we're getting ready for it. And while we're waiting, if it's the first time you're watching this and you want to play the game, this is how you do. And we just found the thing in the registration system, because my math was also saying Club Nautico Sevilla was winning. But when you're giving 6 players to one team and 4 players to the others, then things are changing. He did what was expected by him. He inflicted as much damage as he could to Club Nautico Sevilla. He actually changed color in the scoring system, so he was giving his points to Club Nautico Sevilla. So it's 1-0 to Club Nautico Sevilla, and remember, it's a BO5, so the first team to win 3 races go further into the final. Next race coming up is this 4 versus 4. It is in the J70, and that is the community's favorite boat. It is also one of the most sailed boat in the world, the J boat class. And I'm pretty sure they're looking forward to it. The race officers are getting ready to start the race. So are we also getting ready to jump into the races. When the players are ready, we're just missing the last players from Scotland, then we will be ready to see some cool action. 1-0 for Club Nautico Sevilla. Can Team Scotland, led by Déjà Vu, Mike O'Donovan, come back in this race? And to the Scottish fans out there, I know there's a huge group cheering on Speedy_1. Can he do something for his team in the next race in the J-boat? We are ready when all players are in there. We're just missing one player, but let's join in and get ready for action. And there we go. We have the J-boat here. And this is actually one of the few boats I have been racing. And enjoy the Panda. That's actually my boat. This is the Esailing boat. I'm always the Panda with the Danish flag and the Danish colors. Right now we are losing one player coming in. The J-boat is a very special boat in Esailing. It has it's a medium fast boat. It's a keel boat still. It has this agility. When it's going upwind, it's sailing around 6 knots. When it's going downwind, we can see speed up to 15, 16 knots downwind. It has a wind shear that's 30 meters big. So this is one of the boats where you can win it downwind and lose it downwind. Upwind, it's all about positioning. But again, it's team race. It's team race we're going to see. So let's see how this will unfold again. 1-0 for Club Nautico Sevilla, the sailing club, against the sailors from Scotland and e-sailors. And when we are watching it down here, then we have a new let's take the team captain Déjà Vu from Great Britain here. Déjà Vu, he was the winner of the E-Sail GP Grand Final last year and won a direct spot for the World Championship. So it's not for fun he's here. He has been at the World Championship. He is the crowned winner of the EF50 in Season 1 there. And he's leading his team with Speedy_1. And let's see them. There they are. This is the team. And then you can see Bill Rock. He is placed in the left-hand side there, getting ready for some action. They're playing Club Nautico Sevilla. They're coming up here. They have the youngest player with them tonight, Inri, and he's joining in there. 8 seconds to start. It's all about getting a good position. And let's watch the start here. Right now, Club Nautica Sevilla is doing a great job. We will take it in a few sec. Good start. Oh, speedy, speedy, speedy. That's not a speedy start. That's a very slow start by Speedy coming in here. But what we can see here is Gun trying to battling with J. Paparo. They're going to the right-hand side straight away. There's more dark area, more wind breeze in the left-hand side. But J. Paparo is putting him in this position here because when he crosses to the opposite side, to the dotted lines, also called delay lines, then he can control the other boats. But because see, he's coming from what we call a right away. He's coming from starboard, going in front of Gund. Opposite, Deja Vu trying to battle, but he's covered by Ramon, the vice world champion, against one of his furious competitioners. Oh, downwind attack, covered by him. They were both in the World Championship final this last year, 2020. There, Ramon, he was the Vice World Champion. Deja Vu didn't have the best World Championship series. Right now, it looks quite green all over the line. It looks like Club Nautical Sevilla has been practicing this boat 4v4. Position 1, 2, 3, and 4 goes to CNS. They really means business. They want to go into this final. But they can secure point number 2, and right now it looks quite hard for the British team or Team Scotland to come back. Gund is doing something great. Gund is going in. He's the youngster. He's the unproven. Oh, getting a penalty by J. Barbaro, but he just inflicted Rausenlock with a penalty, helping his team Speedy, Donny Gillis, and Deja Vu to come in. The interesting battle is up here. Will Donny Gillis and C. Paparo see C. Paparo going in front of, covering Donny Gillis, making sure he's getting dirty air and can't sail past him, because if Donny Gillis is coming in with speed, he can control rest of the team from Club Nautical Sevilla. J. Paparo, C. Paparo, the Paparo brothers are going in. It is almost a Dalton spot. They're creating issue. Ramon and Rausenlock needs to go behind. And now Donny Gillis is breaking up the boat, losing the sails, making room for his teammates. Oh, double penalty hitting the mark. Sailed in front of Ramon. And that's still giving a small chance for Team Scotland to win positions back. But 2 of the CNS boats coming in. Rausenlock finding room, going in between them. Rausenlock, triple penalty in that mark rounding. What an amazing penalty made by him. Came from the inside while the other boats was maneuvering. And now he's taking Donny Gillis out of the game with a right away move here. But he has to take care. Leeward and windward penalty is coming in here. But Club Nautical Sevilla in first, second, third. What a amazing move at that top mark. Upwind race coming in. Oh, Speedy with a penalty. Deja Vu is a little bit behind. Can they coming in? It's all up to Gund or Donny Gillis. Let's see. Gund going in front of Ramon. Ramon bears away, not taking that penalty, and then goes behind Gund. Gund, he needs to find some wind. He's going to the left-hand side. There's a wind pressure with him. There's dark breeze over there, but see, the wind sucks. It's coming from right-hand side and not left-hand side. So right now, Deja Vu is in the best position, but Ramon creating a lot of chaos. There behind him, actually making trouble for 3 boats from Team Scotland. It looks like Club Nautical Sevilla wants that final. They want to go all the way. They are also very, very proud of their e-sailing team here. There we have C. Paparo, J. Paparo, Rausenlock. It's all green up there. And there's more than 40 meters to Deja Vu. It looks like a hard task for the British team to come in, penalizing Ramon. But see, Club Nautical Sevilla sailing away. All because of Ramon's triple penalty at that top mark. This is a battle of giants. The vice world champion Ramon is showing the way, leading his team. He's not winning the race, but he's inflicting as many penalties as he can behind. That is amazing. And see him here. Here we have the proud team. Ramon is the guy at the right-hand side in the black shirt, the vice world champion. While watching that, we are seeing Club Nautical Sevilla coming with 1 boat in the lead. C. Paparo, J. Paparo in second, Rouse and Lark in third. And then I have to say, It's 2-0 Club Nautical Sevilla. Even if Deja Vu is coming 4th, Gunt is coming 5th, Donny Gillis coming 6th, and Speedy 7, because it's all about getting as less points as possible. And right now there's only 14 points, even if Ramon is losing this battle for Club Nautical Sevilla. And that is creating, yeah, let's say it, 23 points for Team Scotland. Confirmation, there's not much to confirmate here because the race officers already updated everything. But here we see the stats. C. Paparo, the best start, best average speed. Ralston Lark, best maximum speed. J. Paparo still the shortest distance. And Speedy, he had to defend his position, but it's all green. And because of Ralston Lark did a fantastic downwind leg, or let's say Ramon made a triple penalty at that top mark. That's with number 2 there in the chart. That is the top mark rounding. Then all positions were switching around, killing or beating the Scottish team. Wow. It looks like Club Nautical Sevilla has been practicing a lot. They are really into it. But I know the Brits, I know the Scottish players, they are trying to do everything to come in. And let's hope it's not going to be an early Brexit for them. Let's hope they can battling back. It's a BO5, so it's 2-0 for Club Nautical Sevilla. And that's also giving the advantage for them in the next race. They now have match point, and they actually have 3 match points. But let's go into the scoring system and see what's coming up next. What's coming up next is Club Nautical Sevilla has 2-point lead against Team Scotland, the Scottish community team. And what a win. 13 points against 23 points in the J17. Now we're going over to a whole other type of race. We're going in to the EF50, the second fastest, or let me say, the fastest boat in the game at the moment. But in real life, we have seen the American boat, the AC75, beating the speed record against the EF50. But in this race, it's the EF50, and this game, there is the fastest boat. So let's see some action when they're getting ready into it. It's a 3 versus 3, and this is what it's all about. And again, now we're going to see a whole lot of type of game. To all of those of you that's new to this game, that haven't seen it before or played it yet, there are 8 or actually 9 different boat types in the game. We have the classic keel boats, also the smaller boats like a Laser, a J-boat. We have the Far East boat, and then we have the fastest of that type, that is the 49er. Then we're coming into the foil boats. We have an F50, EF50 we're going to see. That's maybe the fastest foil boat. Then we have the the AC75, the America's Cup boat, the Prada Cup boat. The second fastest of them, also a huge boat, doing tactics and a lot of things with that. And then we also have the F18 and the Nacro 17. Some of them are Olympic classes, some of them are special classes in the special events. We are ready for the next race coming up. It's the F50, so let's go in and have some action. The race officers started the race. And there we have it with Club Nautical Sevilla in the bottom. They're having the match point. But can Team Scotland do anything with it? Here we have the F50 from Great Britain. And we also have the Spanish team is also part of the F50, the CLDP campaign. 18 seconds to start. The starting line is up there. We have what we call a reaching start. A reaching start means that they are sailing to this reach mark up there. And they have the wind in the side. And a false start can be crucial. Will slow you down to be the last boat. Timing start, coming with speed. What a start. Henry with a false start. He slows down. Penalty to Belrock. This is a good start for the Scottish team. 3 versus 3. Belrock and Henry dropping down. So the battle is up here in between the leaders. It is Luis Espan, Jay Paparo, Donny Gillis, Deja Vu. Deja Vu is the defending ESAIL GP champion. So let's see if he can continue doing it. He is the ambassador of the ESAIL GP. They just made a show about him in the brand, putting it up where he's talking about how to race this. And do you know what he won? He won, for winning the ESAIL GP, he won a trip to the next ESAIL GP event and a real race on the F50. Downwind attack by Deja Vu on Luis. So he knows about the boat in the virtual waters. He's going to learn the boat in real waters. Deja Vu almost getting a penalty by Jay Paparo. They're covering it up. He made a decision to attack Henry, but that decision put him last, but made a small gap for Bill Rock and Donny Gillis going upwind. In this boat, when you're going upwind and when you're doing the tactics, you can see there are boundaries here. So they need to tack upwind and jibe downwind. If they're crossing the boundary, they will get a penalty. Ooh, penalty to Henry. Doing the tack too early. Deja Vu knew that and then attacked him. But can Deja Vu speed up? And they also need to sail in the harder breeze to get speed wind into the speed sea. Oh, crossing. Donny Gillis making an unforced penalty. Crossing the boundary. Opening up the game for Jay Paparo. Opposite side. Bill Rock in trouble. But he has to ride away. Ooh. Will Team Scotland throw this away? Jay Paparo coming in. It's Bill Rock in the lead. He's the routine sailor. 51 years old. Donny Gillis. He's also up there in the age. But I can't remember exact age. Then we have Jay Paparo coming in just behind him, rounding the top gate mark. Now it's going downwind, see the speed. Luis coming with them. Penalty to Deja Vu, hitting Henry. But if they get first and second, it doesn't matter what Deja Vu is doing down there. So, now let's see. 9 points for Team Britain. Donny Gillis is battling for the life. Jay Paparo coming in. Luis Espan coming in. Who will take this victory? It's the second and last gate mark in the button in the downwind. They see 45 knots downwind. 43, 44, 39. Luis is a little bit slower. Donny Gillis needs to defend the position. No! Bill Rock going upwind. Losing all momentum. He did what he was not meant to do. It takes 11 seconds to hit maximum speed. Bill Rock, Donny Gillis against Jay Paparo, and Luis with another unforced penalty, hitting the mark in that mark rounding. Ooh, Jay Paparo penalizing Bill Rock, capture him in speed upwind. First to Team Scotland, second to Team CNS. Bill Rock in third, Henry and Luis in fourth and fifth. And now it's all about the mathematics. Right now it's 10 points for Club Nautical Sevilla because Bill Rock dropped down to fourth position, giving the position to Henry, and that's 9 points or 11 points. Oof, 10 points to Club Nautical Sevilla. There's 21 points. 10 points or less is giving the victory. Oh, penalty, Bill Rock trying to avoid it, going upwind, losing all momentum. See how his boat's slowing down. This looks like when we were in San Francisco Bay, the Chinese team came into a gate mark, mistimed their mark rounding, and then they slowed down for around 30 knots of speed to 5 knots and couldn't come back in action, losing that first position. Donny Gillis battling for survival, but it looks like it's too late. Club Nautical Sevilla is beating the Scottish team right now. Henry in the lead. Donny slowing down the whole team, trying to win some speed in. Penalty, friendly fire. Deja Vu hit by Bill Rock. It couldn't be more unlucky by the British team. This is a small revenge from Spain and Britain. They had a battle in the Nations Cup final. There, the British team was winning the Nations Cup, the real Nations Cup. And in this invitational, the Spanish are showing, hey, we have been practicing since last time. Donny Gillis trying to slow down Jay Paparo. He misfires, get a penalty. First, second, and third for Club Nautical Sevilla. This also means that this game ended pretty fast and we will go into the second semi-final within the next 5 minutes. 3-0 for Club Nautical Sevilla What a victory by these lads we're seeing here. So, what a comeback, as the chat is writing. This is what it's all about. We saw here, let's see the chart. This is the entertainment part. The Brits, or the Scottish team, was in the lead first, second. If we take the reach mark, the gate mark, the bottom gate mark, the top gate mark, they had first and second. They also had that at the bottom gate mark and racing upwind to the top mark. Then something crazy happened in the last gate mark, rounding in the bottom. And there we saw the switch. Club Nautical Sevilla, the brown lines, came in, took over first, second and third. And while that, let's have the race officers inviting in the team captains from each team. Deja Vu, Mike O'Donovan from Great Britain, and Ramon from Club Nautical Sevilla. And let's hear a little bit about what they experienced and how it was to race in this race. While waiting for that, this is where we're doing all our scoring. Please remember to go to sailranks.com. This is Group A we just saw. We see winner is KTR with 18 points. What a fantastic start of this ISPO Munich Team Race Invitational. Semi-final 1 just ended, and surprisingly 3-0 for Club Nautical Sevilla. And let's start with Ramon, the Vice World Champion. Let's invite him in studio. He is here live with us in studio, so let's have a talk with him about the comeback they just have. Please welcome Ramon in studio. Wow, Ramon, what a victory you guys just had.
Hi Thomas, yes, it was a very difficult races, but we could win every of them. And it was very difficult because we tried to stop Deja Vu because this is the best player of this team. And it's very difficult to stop this guy.
Yeah, I have to say, Ramon, it looks like you guys have been practicing. Is that right?
Yes, we are. Carlos and Jesus are my brothers, and Raúl is from our club, Club Náutico Sevilla. Luis is in our team since April. So since April we have trained a lot, and we have done a very races in team race together.
Yeah, and you guys are actually the only sailing club joining in this event. You are actually representing your sailing club, not an e-sport organization. How is it to represent your sailing club in e-sailing?
Well, it's very special to can represent my own club in real life. I think it's very nice, very nice.
Yeah, thank you, and looking forward to meet you and the team in the final, either against MCS Italia or Team Vit. So best of luck. Let's jump into studio to Mike O'Donovan, Deja Vu, also known the British team captain. Hello, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you, Mike. Wow, that was quite a fast race by CNS tonight.
Yeah. I know that they raced really well. We had some technical issues in the last one, but no, they all credit to them. They did very well. They certainly managed to pin me down quite well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mike, we have a lot of viewers with us from the ISPO Munich right now. They're watching in this event, and they're all quite curious about, are you guys real sailors or are you just gamers? Because you're just sitting there with a perfect headset. You're sitting in your dormitory at the college and you're playing this game. But how is it when you're not sitting in that room?
Yeah, no, it's good fun. Not much sailing is happening right now, but I'll get any laser sailing I can in. I'll get any J70 sailing I can in. We all like to sail in real life as well. So, this is a temporary, not temporary, but this is something to fill the time while we, are all locked indoors.
Yeah.
A
Mike,
good way to fill the time.
you have this beautiful cap on, SailTP.
Yeah.
You're the winner of the eSailTP Grand Final.
Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit more about how it is to race an F50 and an EF50 against one of the other boats? How can you compare that in the game and maybe also in real life?
Yeah, so I haven't sailed them in real life. Hopefully I'll get a ride on one sometime this year. In game, they're really tactical. The boundaries add a really interesting element to them and adds a lot more strategy and tactics. They go really, really fast, and they obviously have the reaching start as well, which is also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're quite different from all the other boats, but in some ways the same, and in other ways a lot more fun.
Yeah.
But also the other boats are great as well. So I'm obviously not impartial because I do really enjoy the F50 or the EF50. But yeah.
Yeah. And Mike, now we are not going to see you and your team rest of the night, but we actually crossed the fingers. I know Ali, Speedy_1, he was crossing the fingers all the way that you guys would go into the final. But one last question. Can e-sailing somehow be transferred into real sailing, and opposite? Can we bridge between sport and e-sport?
Yeah, I fully think so. Something that I firmly believe in is that e-sailing is one of the best ways to practice your in real life sailing tactics and strategy. And so, yeah, I definitely think that the bridge is definitely possible. There are people who've never sailed who have come into e-sailing and are now sailors, and vice versa. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. And best of luck in the upcoming tournaments and also the qualification for the World Championship. We will get ready for semi-final 2 within the next 5 minutes. And Mike, stay safe, stay home, and have some fun over in Great Britain.
Thank you very much.
That was semi-final number 1. And we are going to have some close action because we are going into semi-final number 2 in a few sec. And let's just see on the poster who we are going to meet. This is one of the battles I have been really waiting for tonight. It's the youngsters. This is actually the youngest team, Team Wit, coming in tonight. A mix of sailors. Arthur Farley, the team captain. He is actually a laser sailor. He was going to the European Championship for youth this year, but also going into the Senior European Championship in Poland. But he couldn't come because of COVID. Then we have, he has on his team Bartlam Briggs, 49er sailor, Olympic sailor for the Netherlands. Then on the opposite side, we have an esport organization, MCS Italia, led by the former world champion 2019, Filippo Lanfranci. But they have a lot of top sailors on that team. The D'Amato brothers, Pepe and David D'Amato. They have Rock, the Italian champion this year. Also a very good sailor in real life. And then they have the young magician, Luka Koslovic. He's called the E-Sailing's Harry Potter, a real magician in the game. The reason why he got this nickname, you will see when the picture's coming up, is because of his glasses. But for the next semi-final, I will have a new co-commentator with me, an expert on the field, Lucas Moore from Denmark joining in. But please stay tuned. We will be back in a few seconds.
ISPO Munich 2021 presents the official e-sport of world sailing. 8 teams are going to compete. 1 team will be crowned winner. LDLN from Spain, led by team captain Jose. Club Náutico Sevilla from Spain, led by team captain Ramon 732. Downwind Esports based in Denmark, led by team captain and national champion Lucas Moore. Ukrainian Esailing Squadron, led by team captain 767. Team USA, led by team captain Bradley Adam. MCES Italia, led by team captain, former world champion Filippo Lanfranchi. Team Scotland, led by team captain and Nations Cup champion Mike O'Donovan. Team VIT, led by team captain Farley. Starts the 18th of January 2100 UTC, semi-finals and grand final on the 2nd of February at 1900 UTC.
And welcome back in studio. A great pleasure to guide you through the first semi-final of tonight, and we are waiting for the next team to join in. The match is set to start at 9 Munich time, 2000 hours UTC. And right now I can see all our commentators are coming back from all their national interviews. But let's meet the first one I will put in studio. Please welcome our expert of tonight and also top e-sailer. He's actually team captain of Team Downwind and the Danish national champion, Lucas Moore. Hello, Lucas.
Hello, Thomas. Good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining in tonight, Lucas. Lucas, e-sailing, is that just for fun?
Well, I think it started as fun for everyone, and now it's kind of become, I think, a more serious part of sailing for a lot of people. That's especially what I see on Team Race League. People are starting to really care about their performance and their overall placement in different Virtualregatta events.
Yeah.
So I think it's become a quite serious part of sailing in general.
And Lucas, e-sailing for you is a lot of time behind the computer. You can play this on the computer in a browser. You can play it on your mobile phone. You can play it on your tablet, your iPad. Which favorite device are you using?
Well, I've always played on my iPhone, and then I thought the screen got too small. I tried on my computer, and it took some time to get used to the controls. So now I ended up playing on an iPad Pro. So nice big screen and easy to control the boat.
Nice big screen and easy to control the boat. And Lucas, you're joining in the studio tonight as our as a pro commentator, our expert in the field. Sometimes we have another guy from Belgium with us, Cube, also one of the guys who's behind the community. Lucas, I really need to know, and also the viewers need to know, how big is e-sailing in Denmark and where will it become in the future?
Well, we're just starting, I think, our second year of official Danish e-sailing. We're going to have 2 national championships this year, one for teams and one for individual.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, I think it's going to be a great year for especially Danish e-sailing.
And now we
also have to defend. We also have to defend our 4th place at the E-Nations Cup at the end of the year.
Yeah. And then we come to the big question. And that's for all the new viewers. What's the difference from team race and fleet race? Normally in sailing, we are seeing fleet races, but tonight we're seeing team races.
Well, I think it's 2 quite different parts of e-sailing. Fleet race is all individual. You're on your own, fighting against everyone else. And in team racing, you really need to be solid as a team. I think you could also see that when we were in this competition with Downwind, we didn't really have practice as a team. We had 3 new members actually joining us for this event. So I think it really shows that it's important that you practice as a team and just also practice team racing tactics.
Yeah, and then you are a real sailor. I need to ask this question because people don't believe it. I have seen all of you in action. I know around 2,000 of you guys on the servers. How does it feel to race in these competitions? Do you get a heart pulse? Do your heart have a heartbeat of it? Do you start sweating?
Definitely, definitely. The heart rate does go up, especially if you're in the ESail final in an event, or I guess also in the World Championship final.
Yeah.
It does get really intense.
Yeah. Now we are getting into the next race in a few seconds. It's posted to start at 9 minutes, so we're waiting for the last player to come in. I know some of the players are coming home from practice, getting ready to race this. They have been on water all day, and now they're getting on the virtual water, getting ready to participate here. We're going to see Team VIT versus MCS Italia. So an esport organization against the youngsters. I'm calling them the youngsters. They only have one old guy on the team, but he's not old. That's Lord Bury.
Yeah, I think this is going to be hopefully a very, very close match. I know that VIT, they spend a lot of time on Team Race League. I think they have a couple of the top spots on the leaderboard. And also I know MCS, they're practicing team racing as well all the time.
Fantastic.
So we're in for a good fight.
It's a great fight, and I'm just seeing here, I'm just getting popped up in studio that our other commentator, sorry to say it, we are not the stars here, but our star commentator, Alec Wilkinson, is almost ready. So let's just pop on a small break, get ready to invite Alec in and meet him, and then let's get ready for some action. We're waiting for the last team to start. The next race will start in 8 minutes, but hopefully a little bit before. This is Group A we just saw. We see winner is KTR with 18 points. And of course we are getting ready for the next match. And with me in studio in a few sec, we're just setting him up. He is from Britain. He is sitting in UK, and it's and he is. I have to say, he might be one of my dearest friends, but also a very good co-commentator. And he's laughing at me sometimes. I don't know why, but that's how it is when we are working with a star commentator like Alec Wilkinson.
Hear me, Thomas.
I can hear you, Alec. Why we are putting you in studio?
Never mind my picture. The important thing is you can hear me, because I do like to talk, and I've got, even when I've not got anything to say. So as long as you can hear me, that's the important thing. And I do like
There we have you.
you'd say I do like to talk. So there we go. I'm in the picture now. So that's perfect. And what a build-up you've given me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are the star. Lucas and I are just the tiny ones in this world. You have been commentating the Olympics, America's Cup,
sure.
World Tours in sailing. You know so much about sailing, but still, we are more watched than you. No, I'm just making fun.
Well, tonight, who knows? I mean, it's the big one, isn't it? And we'll see. We'll see about all the followers, and we'll see who comes out on top. I'm interested to hear as well what Lucas thinks, and I think, although I know Lucas now, we've worked on some of those e-sailing masterclasses together that you can all find on YouTube. I don't think I've actually commentated with Lucas. I've commentated his races, so it's good. It's a new partnership.
It's a brand new partnership, and today we are 2 Vikings against 1 British guy, and that might actually end up in something great. Maybe a new king or something. No, I'm just making fun that way. But Alec, how is it to commentate, just to switch the difference of e-sport and e-sailing? Because that's one of the topics tonight while we're waiting. What's the big difference from you?
Yeah, from a commentator's point of view, obviously the e-sailing races are over a lot quicker. And there's always breeze. We never have to wait. We might wait because there's the odd internet glitch. We might have to wait for the odd player to rejoin the pre-start of a race because of technical reasons. But on the whole, we're not waiting for 4 hours for wind. So that is, of course, the big difference. And that is one of the good things for the players as well, because wherever they are, whatever the weather, they can get out on the virtual waters and race.
Yeah, and we are seeing a lot of examples of that. We have been at Kieler Woche, we have been at CLDP Marseille, we have been at Baculana. Even in Baculana, when they cancelled the races, we had our finals there.
Yeah, that's right. We did, and what a fantastic occasion that was. In the end, the Baculana, the race you're particularly talking about a couple of years ago, the race sort of was just very, very slow with very, very light winds. But that evening we had the e-sailing version, and it was full blast all the way around the court, around the race course.
Yeah, and there we actually, for the first time, saw the Italian community grow, because this game is growing and growing and growing. 37,000 Italians are registered in this game, but we met 2 special persons there. We met Luka Koslovic, the young Trieste guy from Baculana, 16 years old at that moment, and then Pediccio, 22, the Italian champion. So
yeah, and of course Luka Koslovic then went on to make the World Championship finals in 2019 as well. So his success at Baculana was then transferred into the kind of global competition of the World Championship. So yeah, I mean there's a lot of talent out there, and the amazing thing for me anyway is the variety of ages. So you've got, we've had a world champion who's 48, and we've got a younger world champion in his early 20s as well this year. So a real range.
Yeah, and also when we're watching this team Scotland this year, the British team that came in, the oldest 51, the youngest I think he's 19. So, whew.
Yeah. So and it's great. And what we haven't worked out yet is whether it's an advantage to be younger than older or older than younger. Some sports, the way the body metabolizes kind of oxygen and creates stamina and so on can help the older athletes, and vice versa, obviously. But in e-sailing, we haven't quite worked it out yet. The experiment goes on.
The experiment goes on. And with that said, Alec, I can see next race is coming up. So let's go in and talk about it. Let's show the format. Let's just switch the score to the teams we're going to see in the next race. And coming up is Team Vit, an international team with sailors from Czech Republic. We are going to see Lord Bury, as his gamer name is. He's actually getting nominated as Sailor of the Year in Czech Republic for his results of e-sailing. Then we are going to see from Bartlam Briggs also, 49er sailor, Olympic sailor, and Farley, Arthur Farley. And then we have 2 Portuguese, Martin Fernandes, young sailor, and Chico P. Mello. He's a little bit older. And from Team Italia, That's Alex home court. That's Luka Koslovic, the young magician. Alberto Carrero, cheating a little bit. He's actually sitting in London. Pedito 22, Italian champion 2019. Filippo Lanfranci, world champion 2019. Pepe D'Amato, Gin Tonic. That's David D'Amato. And Rock. That's the Italian champion this year. They're starting up with the laser. The race has started. So let's just jump into the server when they're pressing the start button. Let's have some action in the laser. And this is Virtualregatta and Alec and Lucas. Lucas, we're just jumping into the race. We had the classic things sometimes happen in this fantastic game when there's 1,500 players online at the same time as we're seeing at the moment. Then we have some glitches. Here we have the laser. Lucas, can you help us a little bit about the laser? And Alec, can you guide us through what's happening in this game?
Well, so we've got 40 seconds. So, Lucas, just briefly, what are the things to look out for on the laser?
Well, the laser is a funny boat in VR. It's all about the upwind pumping. So you'll see the boats going zigzagging up, or moving the boat.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at that as they go upwind. There's a bit of a match race going on here between the Chico and the Italian boat, but 10 seconds to go. So it's upwind, downwind, upwind, downwind. So 2 laps of the course, and we are away. And they seem to be spread right out across the start line. And a few false starts there, so they have to go back and they start again. They were over the line early. Yeah. And now it'd be interesting to see how the fleet splits, if at all.
Yeah, but it's quite interesting, Alec. Vitfali is going to the right-hand side. We talked in the last semi-final. It's all about being at this right-hand side so you can cross in. Lord Brewery getting a penalty against Gin Tonic. And then we have these huge battles in the middle. And Lucas, you're playing this game in a very high level. Where's best to be at the moment?
Well, I think the best thing is to stay close to the other team. You really want to try at least hold on to three players from the other team. That way, you always have the option to get back in the game if you're going behind. And then I think the laser, it's a bit of a tricky boat to race because you can get some weird penalties in different situations.
Yep. So I'm just watching these boats, and I was waiting for them to pump so that we can have that pumping conversation. Now, pumping is basically, if you can imagine, sort of putting your hand in a bath of water, and you sort of slap the water under the water. That's what you're doing. It's sort of creating friction against the wind, and it's not actually allowed in all circumstances in real sailing, is it, Lucas? But you can pump at will in e-sailing.
Well, I think, yeah. Well, I don't think it should. It's a nice addition to the game. It adds a different perspective, so all boats aren't the same. But you don't really pump in the real laser, do you?
Yeah. But while saying that, guys, what a battle we have here. We just saw Martin Fernandez getting 1 penalty in the battle against Luka Koslovic, and then we saw Luka Koslovic doing a downwind attack on Bartlen Briggs. Bartlen Briggs, Alec, we know him quite well. He's from the Netherlands, and he's not sailing laser normally.
Yeah, Bart Lambrechts is a 49er, Olympic 49er sailor with the Dutch team, hoping to go to Tokyo 2020. And right now, he's in a much slower boat than the 49er. He's in this laser, and he's almost on that ley line, and they're now beginning their approach to that top mark. Penalty for Chico.
Yeah, Chico getting a penalty. Martin Fernandez going into a battle against Luka Koslovic. Luka Koslovic winning that battle, handing out a penalty to Martin Fernandez. Chico coming in, Farley a little bit too early with that tack, but went out to attack Filippo Lanfranci. So 2 MCS Italia guys doing a wind block, slowing down the whole team. And Lucas, that's a perfect move made by them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always good to put in a couple of mark traps for the other team. it really helps getting the fleet back together, and it's a good way to get your teammates back in the race if they're lagging behind.
So downwind they go for the first time. We've got Farley out in front, and then come two Italians, Filippo Lanfranchi and Luca Koslovic, who we've talked up, and we've talked about their quality as e-sailors, and now they're showing that. But can they catch Farley out in front? But remember, this is a team event, so it's, they've got to look after each other, and we'll see that in a lot of the other races as well, especially when there are less boats on the course. You'll see them sort of helping each other get around and try to overtake the opponents.
Yeah, and it's all about getting as less point as possible. And I can see, we have been playing this game so much and commentating, doing broadcasts. Lord Bury in Czech Republic is having some issues. He's losing his connection. I know he's sitting on 3G net, so we just saw some lacking from him, some jumping in the boat, and that's his connection issue. That might inflict a huge thing for them. Luka Koslovic, downwind attack on Chico. Then we have Filippo in third with Farley, Martin Fernandez in first and second. And Lucas, you know the point. If you're getting first, second and fifth, then you actually won the race. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think there's still a lot to play for. We're still missing a whole downwind, and the wind shadow is quite strong in the laser.
Yes, it is coming up to the halfway mark, just beyond. And now it's Farley who's going to struggle to get round there in first place. Or is he? Is he going to be able to sneak in on the inside of Martim? No, he's not. Martim is clear. The boat with the Portuguese flag is round first. Then comes Farley. And then we've got the three Italians, Pepe D'Amato and Lanfranchi and Luca Koslovic. So a real bunch of Italians coming round now.
And it's interesting to see, Alec, they don't care about first and second. They know they cannot trap them. But see how they caught 3 fish in the fishing net here. 3 off Team Vit, Bartland Briggs, Chico Pimello, Lord Bury, all captured in a wind block by Rock on Fire and Gin Tonic. That's very aggressive, because if they get those 3 boats to lose, then Team MCS Italia might win this race.
Yeah, so we have to see if Biri and Chico can make their way up the fleet. But right now, it's a 1-2 for Vit, and then 4 Italian boats. Gin Tonic. Gin Tonic move up, and you can see them now covering each other, getting a lot more aggressive as they head towards that finish line.
And it's a battle, and Gin Tonic, David D'Amato just lost to Lord Bury in that battle. And it's very important he gets 9th. See the math. 3 points for Team Vit. And then we have 4 Italian boats crossing in, except 3. And here we have a battle. Chico, Pimello, Rock on Fire, Bartland Briggs. He is under pressure. He needs to win that battle.
Yes, he does. Italy will have it if Gin Tonic can move up 1 place. And we've got Gin Tonic there doing his best on that far side of the line, but he's last.
Oh, Yannick.
We have learnt from experience to wait for the official results.
Yeah. Let's just take the confirmation, Alec, because you said it. We need to have the official result, but I can't call this. First and second, Martin Fernandez, Arthur Farley, first and second. Then we have Filippo third, Luca fourth, Pepe fifth, Rock on Fire sixth. Then we have Chico, Bartland Briggs, and Lord Bury. And then last, MCS Gin Tonic. So, I can't call it. We will have it in sale ranks in a few sec who's winning. But let's just see the battle here. See how they're switching positions. It was looking so great in the start for MCS Italia. Then they lost some momentum, and Team Vit came into the lead and took control. And then it switches again. But first and second goes to Team Vit. You see Chico Pimello, Martin Fernandez starting almost in one of the last, starting in third, battling his way up to first. and then kept his position up there. But the Italians peppered him out too, winning from 9th to 5th, just coming into it. So very, very exciting what's going to happen. And let's go to the scoreboard. That will tell who's winning first point. Oh yeah, like 1 point.
Yeah, we were right. Gin Tonic just had to get one place ahead, and he failed to do that. So Team Vit score the first point in the laser, and it's 1-0 against the Italians. 4 races still to go, though. Lots of racing to come, and in lots of different types of boats, the J70, the F50, and the Star as well. So lots of different boats, which means lots of different styles and types of sailing needed.
And what a start, Alec, here. 1 point, and it was not the winning boat we were watching here. It was the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th that was the decider in this race.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the team event, because not all the regattas we follow, and the big events indeed are not team events, but one of the attractions is that there is so much going on. It's not just about the first sailor across the line. It's about where everyone in the team comes. And, it's great, isn't it, when a sport can offer you a battle between the last 2 boats as well as the boats at the front of the fleet.
Yeah, and now we're going into a 4 versus 4. And Lucas, I have to say, is that not the race where it can get a tie?
Yep, that is the race where it can get a tie. So it's really important. Well, I think if you really want to secure your win, you got to have the other team on 7th and 8th place.
Yeah. And
So that's, well, maybe we'll see it on the last downwind again.
yeah, and Alec and I will talk about the tie. We're joining in. The race has started. So let's have the race officer press the button. Let's go in and have some action.
Here we go then. The clock just beginning to count down to the start.
And we're just taking a small restart because there's so much pressure on the servers. 1,300 sailors right now, Alec, online. So the servers are really taking it in. So let's fastly speed in to this race again. It is 4 versus 4. It is the J17. There we have them.
Here we go then, the J70, 30 seconds to go. So that's all good now. Let's just have a look at the course. You can see it's the same format. You've got 2 upwind and 2 downwind legs. And if you're new to Esailing, the radar in the top left corner is a good way, once the racing begins, to keep an eye on the wind conditions. As we see our sailors from Vit appear at the bottom of the screen. And they are, of course, facing MCES of Italy. It's race 2 of this semi-final, and it's all square on the line. But I think Farley was over early, and Bartlett went back to start again as well. I didn't see Farley. I think that was a penalty for Farley, so he's going to take an automatic slowdown. And yeah, so what you're looking for, going back to the radar in the top left corner, you're looking for dark shadow across the water. In many ways, just like if you're out on real waters. And the dark shadows, the darkness on this game represents stronger breeze. But at the moment, it's pretty even right across the course, wouldn't you say, Lucas?
Yeah, the wind is a bit to the right now, and I think VIT really has some work to do now. I don't usually see them doing such bad starts, I think.
There might be some nerves tonight because yeah, they're battling for the honor, they're battling for the glory, and this is a showcase on the ISPO Munich right now, and we are on the Expo, and what a race they're doing. But it is MCS Italia in the lead. They are here with Rock on Fire and Pediccio 22, the 2 Italian champions. Pedito 2019, Rock on Fire 2020.
So they're coming up to the top mark, and at the moment we've got the MCES boats chasing these two red-sailed boats from Vit, and Martimi is going to try and sneak in on the inside. Here's Chico coming in on this ley line. The ley lines, these dotted white lines, the most efficient way, theoretically anyway, to the mark. Pedrito comes in.
But Alex, see what a terrible upwind leg by Luka Koslovic. Bartland Briggs had a false start. Farley, he had a penalty in the start, but in last position, it's the magician Luka Koslovic and Pepe de Marto. Oosh, I haven't seen that. So what will the team do up there? Will they do a wind block and make the team come in? Friendly fire, Arthur Chico sailing into Martin Fernandez. Oof, it's all open this race.
VIT have done a really good job in isolating two of the MCS players on that first upwind.
How did they do that?
Well, they had two good starts at least, and then their main focus, I think, has just been to slow down two of the MCES boats, and that is definitely the way you want to do it if you've had a bad start for one of your team members.
Well, it's Pedrito round this bottom gate first, and Rock on Fire also comes in. Bow to bow with Martim, who chooses the opposite side.
Another team kill.
Yeah.
That is an unforced error. It's such a shame when in these team races, isn't it? And is that lack of concentration, Lucas, or is that just sort of lack of control of their boats?
Maybe Farley's a bit nervous, but I don't usually see him doing those kind of mistakes. So maybe he has bad connection, or he's just a bit nervous for these races.
I will actually jump in and make a little bit fun with Farley, because I think it's because he wants to show how great he is, and then he sometimes forget that he is on the team. But Farley, he is maybe one of the best youngsters we have in the game at the moment. Downwind attack here on Koslovic, winning it. Great stuff by him. But in the lead, Peditro, and he's battling Martin Fernandez up there.
It's an interesting assessment of Farley. I like that. Right, so we're on the downwind leg now. For the final time, you can see the green finish line in the distance, and Pedrito and Rock on Fire look like they've got this sewn up. But what a battle at the back! And once again, in these team races, it's the back of the fleet where the race is going to be won or lost.
Yeah, and we have this with the tie, Alec, coming in. Let's take it now, because if it's getting a tie, the team's getting the same points, then who is losing, Alec?
The team who wins loses, actually, because the idea is to encourage people not to just kind of go off at the front of the fleet and win the race, but to help their their teammates. So if it's a draw, then the team that has actually crossed the line first forfeits that race.
Yeah, and right now that's what they're going
in
for.
fact, well, at the front now, I think the two leading pair have slowed a little bit.
Yeah, the wind pressure removed, and then Peditro is taking the victory. Martin Fernandez and Rock on Fire is going to battle this one out, because Rock on Fire, he doesn't dare to cross the finish line. Same thing with Peditro, because if it's going to be a tie, then they have an issue winning the race. So they're watching the battle here behind. That's the most important battle, actually. See, first one loses is Luka Koslovic. And if Pepe de Marto also loses this one, then it might get into a tie. It's all up to Chico P. Mello and Arthur Farley to win this race, to make it a tie.
Oh, it's
Farley.
so
Oh,
close.
penalty for Farley.
Oy, oy, oy,
That
oy,
was
oy.
an unfortunate time to get the penalty.
Yeah, penalty coming in, Alec. I think that is doing the trick, but let's see. Another penalty to Chico. Farley coming last. Alec, do you think it's good enough for them to do it? Or will it be a victory for MCS Italia?
think it may be the Italians who have squared the overall score now.
It's a very good battle. The best youngster team, I'm calling them the youngsters VIT, against the esport organization MCES Italia. Pietro 22, Rock on Fire, the two Italian champions, first and second. Martin Fernandez, Bartland Briggs, third and fourth. Luka Koslovic, the young magician, fifth. Chico P. Mello, sixth. Pepe de Marto, seven. Arthur Farley, eight. And then let's see how it's going in here. And we can see here in the stats behind that also Lucas. Let's try to join in. See, the big victor in the downwind race was Bartland Briggs, coming from last, ending up fourth.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you know, when you're 3 against 2, you want to have 2 people battling the other 2 from the other team, and then have one guy that just sails as fast as you can to the finish.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like VAT is on the level they usually are tonight.
But let's go into the score. Let's get the confirmation. Let's see who won the point in this race. It's a BO5, best of 5 races. So the first team to get 3 points are winning. And right now it's 1-1. MCES Italia winning the 4 versus 4. And Alec, that's just going to give us some very exciting races, because now we're going more and more into the individual skills. But first, before that, we will have a 3 versus 3 in the EF50. Wow.
Yeah, 3 against 3 in the EF50. So a much faster boat. I mean, the J70s are a relatively fast boat, but the EF50, if you've never seen it, I mean, it is something else. In real life, it's a foiling catamaran. It's an extraordinary piece of equipment, and it's really fast. As well, which demands a certain control on the device, whether they're using a keyboard or whether they're using their fingers on a device. It's that much faster and therefore that much more difficult to control the boat.
Yeah, and Alec, now we have Lucas in studio. Let us ask him a question. Lucas, what's the trick racing the EF50?
You definitely want to get a good start. It's the same in all races, but the false start is so expensive meter-wise, especially in team racing. So you really want to have a good position coming into the first reaching mark and being able to control the other team and maybe handing out a couple of penalties.
Fantastic. And while that's said, Alec Wilkinson, are we ready for some EF50 races? The race officer, press start. We are ready to see some action.
Here we go. So 3 against 3. We have got Pedrito, Luka Koslovic and Pepe D'Amato representing MCES. And Vit, I've got Bart Lambrex. He loves the EF50, doesn't he? We've got Birry and we've got Farley. So a Dutchman, a Czech and a Brit representing the international team. And right now, with 13 seconds to go, they are powering up. It's a reaching start. And then it's downwind, upwind, and they do a few laps like that. But it's fast and furious, so don't blink or you'll miss it. And this boat in the middle, taking his time, Birry, taking his time to power up on this reach. 35 knots already as they head towards that first mark, and they're neck and neck, and this is where the penalties might come in.
Oof, Pedrito pushing Farley out. Penalty to Luka made by Bartland Briggs. So the battle is on. Luka Koslovic is losing that mark rounding, but it's Pepe D'Amato, Pedrito 22 and Lord Bury in the lead.
Early drama, as we have come to expect. We're racing in Cowes. I see on the graphic there, one of the venues for the real Cell GP events. Farley picking up a penalty.
And that's very costly, dropping to last position. The Italians coming in with Pepe D'Amato, Peditro 22. Normally, in the real Nations Cup League, Ali, we saw the D'Amato trap. Pepe D'Amato and his brother David D'Amato did it 2 times, 2 battles in a row in 3 versus 3. But we're not going to see that today. But Lucas, I need to ask you, when we're racing upwind in the F50, because there is this game engine, if you're in lighter wind, you sail slower. If you're in faster or harder breeze, then you sail faster. So what to do when you're racing upwind in this battle?
Well, in the F50, it's all about having as few tacks and jibes as possible. And then it's, you gotta know where to go when you're rounding the gate, and where to position yourself according to the other boats. And you see here, oh, they're actually missing each other. So the F50 is just an awesome boat for team racing. Yeah. It's easy to hand out pens and easy to trick the other team to doing more tacks than needed and helping your own team catch up in that way.
Fantastic. We just saw the battle. Pepe D'Amato getting a penalty. Bartlett Briggs, Lord Bury in the lead, taking the lead. Peditro and Pepe coming behind them. Oof. Can they do anything, Alec? This is a battle downwind, and the next mark rounding will show what will happen in the next battle coming up.
Yeah, so because these boats are so fast, a gap of 200 meters isn't as much as it sounds, and it can be lost really quickly by just one false move on the keyboard or on the device screen. So the Italians certainly not out of this race yet, and Lambrex and Biri will be keeping an eye close on their chasers.
And there we see the gate mark rounding, the second and last down gate mark here in the downwind gate. Bartlett Briggs first, Biri second, Pepe D'Amato and Peditro splitting up, then Luka Koslovic and Whit Farley in the lead, in the last. So right now it looks great for Team Whit coming up here with the Bartlett Briggs in second position, Lord Bury in the red, and Arthur Farley is the team captain in the right hand side. But can the Italian team do anything against them? It is Luka Koslovic with the glasses, then we have Pepe D'Amato in the red, and who's the last? That's Peditro 22. He is with the curly hair. But Bartlett Briggs, Lord Bury in the lead.
So 1 and 2 is enough in this 3 against 3 to secure this race. And at the moment, I'm just looking over on that far side, and I'm wondering whether Pepe D'Amato can do something as he comes back in towards the that gate. I'm looking at the distance now. We're looking at 50 odd meters. As I said, that's catchable. They're running out of time though, the Italians, if they want to catch the leading pair.
Yeah, but the leading pair, and Lucas, you can say it, they're a little bit covering each other in this case. So Pepe might have a chance to penalize them. No, he's too far away.
No, I think they shouldn't be able to lose the game from a 1-2, especially not with 200-meter lead. So I think what they're doing is just trying to not give each other dirty air, but while going the right way around the course.
And while saying that, they're racing for the reach mark, rounding towards the finish line. And Alec in the lead, one of your favorite e-sailers, Bartlett Briggs.
Yeah, I like the way he does his e-sailing. It's aggressive, but it's contained. And I also like it because sometimes he takes risks and they don't come off, which gives us commentators plenty to talk about. And it keeps us entertained, which is great. So Bart Lambrex across the line first, Biri second, and that's good enough for a victory for Vit.
And with that said, let's have the confirmation. We saw it with our own eyes. Bartlett Briggs, Bury in first and second. Then we have Pepe D'Amato, Peditro 22, Luca third, fourth, and fifth, and Whit Farley in sixth. But one thing we need to see is here. See this graph, Alec. While we are talking about how to race upwind with Lucas, then we saw Pepe D'Amato getting a penalty in the battle against Bartlett Briggs. He came from position 4, took the lead, and kept the lead rest of the game. So done for him.
that graph is actually quite unusual in the F50. You see a lot more overtaking usually at this level anyway.
So let's call it, and just have the confirmation in cell ranks. It's a 2-2, but let's just have it for, to be sure, Alec. We're sometimes calling it a little bit too early. And this is cellranks.com, made by the community, to the community. You can both use it for e-sailing, but also real sailing. And what we're seeing here is the team result, 9-12 in the last race for Team Wit. And then we can go in and see the scores of each player, which position they had in each race. And then we're coming up to the next race. And right now it's match point for Team Wit, 2 versus 2 in a J17. That's going to be what we sometimes call a bloodbath. But before going into that, this is Cell Ranks, and this is how you can visit it and use it. This is Group A we just saw. We see winner is KTR with 18 points. And Alec, now we are getting ready. It's MCS Italia. They're coming up here. It's 2 versus 2. It's Peditro 22 and Rock on Fire. They're against Team Wit coming up here. And that's Chico P. Mello and Arthur Farley. Oosh. Who will win it?
Have we got so just to explain to people, so Bart Lambrex is in as a spectator there on that left-hand side. Anyway, so Rock on Fire and Pedrito, here we go. They're in the middle. Now, what we often see in the 2 against 2 is that it turns into 2 separate match races, especially in the pre-start. And that's what we're getting here, Lucas.
Yeah, so you could call it a match race because it's basically just 2 match races in one race.
They've come together now, and it looks like Chico really wants to get away on the right-hand side, closest to the committee boat. And off they go.
Ooh.
I was just waiting for that penalty on Farley. Rock on Fire had the right of way and just was pushing him along the line, right where he didn't want to be. Anyway, he's picked up the penalty and now he's away, but Vic Farley has some distance to catch.
But at the same time in that battle, Farley was too aggressive. He did a false start at the same time. So he had to do a 360, go behind the starting line and coming back, putting him in a very bad position, letting Chico P. Mello taking the lead. But Alec, again, we have a race that can be a tie. So the winning team is also the losing team if both teams are getting 5 points.
Crossing here, some attacking going on with Pedrito and Chico in the middle of the course.
Yeah, and Lucas, he's quite left by himself, isn't he? He has no chance. He just needs to do something to win over Pedrito 22 and make him drop behind Farley, isn't that right?
Yeah, so he's doing everything he can now just to slow down Pedrito so Farley can get back in the race and maybe overtake them as well.
So I'm right, Lucas, in saying they've now split up with the 2 races within the race going on here, and both sets of boats are covering their opponent.
Yeah, exactly. We're probably going to have a race all the way to the finish line because these 4 or 2 versus 2 races, they tend to never have a team making a breakaway and having an easy win.
Yeah, and right now we see Chico P. Mello doing a fantastic job with Peditro 22, making Farley coming up to third and putting Peditro into last, and that's giving a result 5-5. And right now, the match point is for Team Vit, and if this point score holds into the end, then it's Team Vit, VIT winning it because of the rules of the tie.
So first to the mark is Rock on Fire. And he's got quite a distance on the other two.
Yeah, but the question, Alec, is, does he dare to let Peditro do the battle himself against two others? See, they're slowing him down, luffing the sails, and he needs to find some space. Yeah, then Rock on Fire also doing the same. So, Lucas, sorry.
Just going to say, remember, this is perfect for the Italians, because if things remain as they are, look at that. Yeah. He's stopped his opponent.
Yeah. And then they have a battle in the lead there, where Farley is losing again, this time to Rock on Fire. So, Lucas, isn't this a fantastic battle we're watching here? And what to do?
Yeah, the two versus two is always very intense. And it's basically up to a player's one-on-one skill, the whole race. So you really got to have control of your nerves going into these very, very close battles.
Yeah, and Rock on Fire just lost to Arthur Farley and losing momentum, 20 meters in one penalty and Mark rounding. So now it's again the battle against Peditro 22 and Chico P. Mello that will decide which team will win this race. But see Arthur Farley doing a 360, waiting for his opponent. What a comfortable young lad we have there, waiting for his teammate by doing a 360 on the water.
So now it's Team Vit that has the advantage. Basically, if you're holding second and third, then you're going to win this race. And at the moment, that's all mixed up, isn't it? So it's wide open, and we're coming back to this top gate, this top mark, I should say.
Oof. Farley doing his move, Rock on Fire going in the lead. He's a very aggressive player, Rock on Fire. Then we have Chico P. Mello on the opposite side. Oh, he almost friendly fire!
That was a good job by MCS. Really getting Farley sandwich in between their two boats.
Amazing race there. Not hitting Peditro, but hitting Arthur Farley, putting himself in the lead. I know it's a tie, but right now it's MCS in the lead. And to those of you that can't see Alec, we can see him here in studio. He's all amazed. He's so wrapped up in this race that he's all frozen. It's amazing. A slowdown here.
No, I just had a freeze on my picture, so I was actually listening to your commentary rather than watching it unfold. But now I've caught up with you, and I see Pedrito is out in front, and then it's Farley and Chico in second and third. So Vit with the upper hand, and Pedrito will have to do something to help Rock on Fire.
Or else he can just trust that Rock on Fire can beat Chico P. Mello. These are maybe the 4 best players in the game, people are writing in the chat. Chico P. Mello is the first one to qualify to the playoff for the World Championship this season already. So this is an intense battle we're having here.
Yeah, it's a battle all the way to the end, and it's so unpredictable, isn't it?
No, MCS is in the lead now. Yeah, Chico just lost the battle.
One jibe to go for the finish line.
It's coming in here. Let's see. It's Rock on Fire. Oh, Chico. Peditro needs to slow down. Vit Farley on the inside. He's taking the lead. So Chico, if he's losing this to Rock on Fire, then it's MCS. He's lost it. No. It's MCS taking the point. We are going into match race in the 5th race. It's a BO5. Amazing race. Just on the finish line. Rock on Fire. He is on fire and make Chico burn in that race. What a race. What a battle of rules. So let's just go into cell ranks. we saw it with our eyes, but let's just get the confirmation. First to Farley, second and third to MCS, and Chico P. Mello in fourth. And see, Alec, it's written 5-5, but the point goes to MCS Italia. And I know, Alec, before we came into this, that Italia was saying, hey, Team Wit might win this race. They're much better than us.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think that was just sort of talk on their part, really. I think the Italians are a really, really strong team. Sure, Vit are as well, but it's hard to say, you know, which team has the better players, and that score kind of backs that point up, really, because it's 2-2 in this best of 5. It's going to come down to the last race. It's in the Star, which introduces a whole load of new tactics and new ways of sailing, and we'll talk you through those once the race gets underway. You know, I don't know about Lucas, but I can't call this at all. I couldn't guess. I think the performances have been pretty equal right through this semi-final.
Definitely. But I think my money is on the Italian team for the Star match race.
Well, I'm intrigued. Lucas can tell us why, once we get to the race, why he thinks the Italians are better in the Star. Really close, and a reflection on the quality of the sailors and the sailing in this event.
Yeah, and Alec, the last race in this BO5, and I'm amazed that we're going into the last race. It's going to be a match race. And now we are going to see the defending world champion, Filippo Lanfranchi, our dear friend, against Martin Fernandez from Portugal.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call. I think Lanfranchi probably has the advantage in real sailing in this sort of format and this sort of boat, but we'll see about e-sailing.
Yeah, let the race start. Let's go in. Let's see some action. The race is up. Who will win? The former world champion from Team MCS Italia, the team captain himself, or will it be Martin Fernandez? We just had one of these glitches because a lot of people want to see this race. So and a lot of players online. So we will drop in straight away. 45 seconds coming in. So let's see the race. And it is a match race in a star boat, Alec. There's no spinnaker in this boat.
No, I mean, it's the slowest boat of those that we've seen in this competition so far, but it's one-on-one. It's going to be a more tactical, strategic race, and watch out for the downwind leg, because that could be the deciding leg, and we'll, again, talk about that in a moment. But let's just follow the start of this race as Filippo Lanfranchi, with that smiley emoji on his sail, tries to get the upper hand, tries to get control of Martin in this match race in the Star. Ooh. With 2 seconds, and they are away.
So close to the mark. Lanfranchi almost been pushed into the mark by Martin, and Martin putting himself in a position where he can control the first upwind leg. Isn't that right, Lucas?
Yeah, that was a really, really good start for Martin. He really managed to power up the boat just in time for the gun to reach zero.
But Alec, we know one thing. The downwind action in these boats is where we are going to see the real battle. We have all the time upwind, but downwind, wind shadow, 33 meters, and then slowing down your opponent with dirty air.
Yeah, I mean, so the upwind is all about staying in touch with your opponents. In many ways, you're better off being just behind them than you are being in the lead, because once you hit that downwind leg, the turbulence, the wind shadow created by your sail, gives you the advantage, and means that you're traveling faster than the boat in front. But right now, there's 32 meters between them. And that could be enough for Martin to get away when he turns at the top mark and heads downwind. But Lucas, your opinion then, you said you fancied Filippo Lanfranchi in this race. Why is that?
Well, I think from what I've heard, I think especially the Italians do more races in the star compared to some of the other players. I know that a lot of the VIT members race on Team Race League daily, and we are not really doing team racing in the star, actually. So, but I guess it all comes down to how much breeze there is coming into this first downwind leg.
It looks hard for the former world champion Filippo Lanfranchi, the team captain from MCS Italia. He's here on the right-hand side. And I have to say, he has to do some magic, but it's now or never. We are going to see what happens. They're rounding the mark. Can he capture the leading boat? Or is it almost over? Let's see. Wind shadow is important here.
It's looking tough for him now, and we're only a quarter of the way through this race. And already you're looking at 80 meters between those two boats. So now what he needs to do is hope that there's a wind shift or some sort of change in the conditions. But looking at the radar in the top, it's looking fairly even across the course.
Yeah, it does. And it looks also pretty hard to see. Martin Fernandez had a free ride downwind with no attack from Filippo. So it might be game over MCS Italia against Team Wit. And but let's see, a lot of things can happen upwind. A small mistake, a glitch, something from Martin Fernandez can throw this game the opposite way.
Tell you what, though, I mean, the format of these races, finishing off with a one-on-one match race in the Star. I mean, talk about pressure on these players. When it's 2-2, the rest of your team is dependent completely on you. And normally you'd finish off with a fleet race, wouldn't you? But no, it's all eyes. The spotlights are on these players. And Lanfranchi has cut some of the ground between him and the leader in this upwind leg, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Martin, unless he gets something dreadfully wrong or a disconnection, and we don't like to see disconnections, but they can happen, that's the only thing right now that can save the Italian former world champion.
Yeah, that is the only one. Let's go to the top view. Here we can see the wind shadow. That is this huge wide area, and it looks like the world champion took a chance upwind. He will not be able to capture Martin Fernandez. So this will handle over the victory for Team Wit, because see here the wind shadow, he cannot capture him in dirty air. 110, 112 meters. But Alec, then let's talk a little bit about the Nations Cup we had in November on the Olympic Channel. We were in one of the deciding races where Crucilator was attacking Tishafu from behind like this. And there was a surprising result with 1 pixel in between the boats. We had another win.
Yeah, that was an impossible race to call, and they were 1 pixel difference on the finish line. That was definitely the closest race we've ever commentated on. But right now we're watching the Portuguese sailor Martim representing VIT, the international team, cross the line. And they will be cheering in their respective homes, because that victory means victory overall for VIT in the semi-final. VIT are through to the final.
Yeah, and a BO5, Alec. And I have to say, all the experts or all the community sailors were saying Team Wit will beat MCS Italia big time. But that was not the case today.
It wasn't the case, and we went into that final race saying that the Lanfranchi was going to beat the Team Bit player, and that didn't happen either. It shows what we all know, doesn't it?
But it also shows another thing, Alec, that Lucas is new in the commentator box with us, because normally we are not calling the win before the race, because then we are throwing the commentator's curse on them, because I know they're watching and listening to what we are saying, and then they got all shaking up there.
Yeah, you like to wind them up, don't you?
Yeah.
Get them nervous, build on the pressure.
Build under pressure, but also what a pressure, as you said, 1 versus 1, deciding who is going into the final. The final will start just after here. There we will see the race coming up. They will only have 5 minutes break. Then it's going to be Team Wit against CNS, Club Nautico Sevilla. But 1 versus 1, Alec, feel the pressure. These guys is also top sailors. Do they feel pressure at all?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, Lanfranchi, let's talk about him because we've just watched that race. He's won a world championship, former world champion. He's been there or thereabouts in so many of the big international events. I'm not sure that he feels the pressure like he did a few years ago. He's got nothing to prove. But obviously there is pressure because he wants to win. And unless he wins, he can't go and celebrate on his balcony in Viareggio with his usual cheroot cigar.
Yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah. Let's ask the race officers to invite in the team captains, Willis the 7-1, Filippo Lanfranchi, and also Arthur Farley in studio for a small interview before we are going into the final. While we're waiting for that, if you're new and just joining in, this is how you play the game. This is Group A we just saw. We see winner is KTR with 18 points.
All right, let's get straight to the mix zone. Let's hear from Filippo Lanfranchi, the captain of the losing Italian team in that semi-final. First of all, sorry, I just have to ask him this in Italian. Filippo, hai freddo? Dove sei?
Now I'm on my terrace because I'm smoking my Tuscan cigar, and my wife don't want to. Don't let me smoke in my house. Then I have to go outside to smoke my Tuscan cigar. It's my every race, every important race I do, I smoke my Tuscan cigar for calm and and be quiet.
Okay, so what happened in the last race?
Yes, that's I have a bad start because I arrived too slow on the line, and the wind shift is on the left. Is all and I have no chance to make a attack for maintain the distance from Martin. then no choice for me. I can tack, and I am covering all the upwind, and that's all. It's finished for me. 50 meters after the first leg, and I can do nothing.
Okay,
I hope only of some little mistake for Martin, but he's a very good player. He don't make any mistake.
so the final between Club Nautico Sevilla and Team Vit, who do you think will win?
I don't know. All the team are strong team. There are very strong player in both team. But I think the VIT team is Farley and Kiko and Martin is a very young and strong player. I think VIT is can win the final.
Okay, Filippo, grazie. Buona serata.
Ciao, grazie a te.
Ciao. Here's Arthur Farley, the Briton on the Team Vits team, and well, how's it been? Are you feeling confident going into the final? We'll just
Yeah, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, talk away.
Yeah, we feel pretty good. I didn't race too well then. Some of the team, we were just getting warmed up in the first races, so we're just looking forward to this final, and hopefully we can come away with a victory.
Tell us about your e-sailing. First of all, remind me, are you 16?
No, I just turned 17 a few days
Just
ago.
turned 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and how long have you been doing e-sailing, and how did you discover it?
So I discovered it through something called the RYA. They run a series in the first lockdown, May last year around that time, and went through my club and did the club championship against Deja Vu, and at the time he was much better than me. He probably still is, but he beat me in that, and I've been really enjoying my e-sailing. I continue to do it. I've done TRL, which Lucas runs. And that's really where I base myself. I do lots of TRL.
So basically, we're struggling to hear you a little bit, but
is that better now?
Yeah, if you could get your mic a little bit closer. So
Yeah,
basically, you've kind of sort of done what you need to do, really, as a new player. You kind of slot into the community, and there is a sense of community, and they are prepared to help you. And there are various sort of organizations within the community that you can compete with and train with and kind of learn from.
Yeah, I mainly do. I don't know if you heard me, but I mainly do TRL. I do a lot of the Team Race League, and I do the Monday night regattas that VRI Sailing Club hold. And I really enjoy that, and that's how I've been progressing through the winter for this season. So I'm looking forward to the Sail GP and all the events.
Okay, well, good luck with that. Good luck with those, and good luck for the final.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you in a bit.
ISPO Munich 2021 presents the official e-sport of world sailing. 8 teams are going to compete. 1 team will be crowned winner. LDLN from Spain, led by team captain Jose. Club Nautico Sevilla from Spain, led by team captain Ramon 732. Downwind Esports, based in Denmark, led by team captain and national champion Lucas Moore. Ukrainian e-sailing squadron, led by team captain 767. Team USA, led by team captain Bradley Adam. MCES Italia, led by team captain, former world champion Filippo Lanfranchi. Team Scotland, led by team captain and Nations Cup champion Mike O'Donovan. Team VIT, led by team captain Farley. starts the 18th of January 2100 UTC, semi-finals and grand final on the 2nd of February at 1900 UTC.
And wow, we are ready for what we have been waiting for 3 weeks. We're getting ready for the grand final of the ISPO Munich Team Race Invitational. It's going to be the international team with, that's an esport club, but it's still with top sailors from around the world against a sailing club, Club Nautical Sevilla. And to those of you just joining in now, let me present my team. Let's please welcome my dear co-commentator, always lovely to have in studio, a little bit more pale because he's from Britain, Alec Wilkinson.
Well, I love that coming from a Dane. But it was interesting because during the commercial break, I was talking to Filippo Lanfranchi after his interview that you saw live on here, and he was giving me the lowdown on all the players. So I will share that with you once we get into the racing.
Yeah, and Alec, together with us, we have, because a lot of new viewers just come in because the final is going to start. We have our expert Lucas Moore with us, and now let's talk him a little bit up, because you and I have been watching Lucas Moore. Normally we don't commentate with him. Normally we are seeing him doing races. So what do we know about this young lad who is joining us in studio today?
Well, we know he's quite good, and he's Danish, and he knows some really good tricks with e-sailing, but he's also kind of a fundamental linchpin within the e-sailing community, and he's organised all manner of events and regattas, and he's always open to help new members as well. So he's a really important part of the e-sailing community. And you'd think I was talking about someone in their 50s, wouldn't you? But then when you see him, you realise he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, and then he had a small battle against Deja Vu at the Nations Cup to become the fan favorite. And I have to say, there were two persons winning at the female fans, but also around the world. It was Lucas Moore and it was Deja Vu. So please stay tuned all out of there. It's Lucas Moore, he's from Denmark, and you will not going to see him on picture because then the chat will burn out. We're getting ready for this grand final. It's a BO5, Alec. 5 races, best of 5. So first team to win 3 races will win this grand final.
Yeah, that's right. And it's in a variety of boats. So we've got 2 races in the J70. We've got a race in the Laser, a race in the F50, and then the climax, a one-on-one match race in the Star. Wow. Can you imagine if this goes to 2-2, just like the last semi-final we've watched?
Yeah, then we're going to see a match race maybe with the Wise World Champion 2020, Ramon. And we have some time to speak about the players because we're waiting for Team Wit. They just need to put in who's racing each race, because there are some rules about how you're racing the races. You're not allowed to race all races with the same players. So we're waiting for their note. But Ramon, Vice World Champion, he lost on the finish line in the middle race to Jon Cardona, the World Champion.
Yeah, that was really tough. The 2 Spanish going head to head, and then literally on the finish line. I mean, Ramon did everything he could. There was nothing else he could do. It was just a case of waiting to see what Jon Cardona, or rather, Jon Cardona had done everything he could, and it was a case of seeing what Ramon could do and close the gap. But anyway, that is all in the past. This is a whole new season, and we're entering this final tonight, and it's a difficult one to call. I'm just looking down the list. Club Nautical Sevilla, hugely experienced group of sailors. Team Vit, equally a large number of sailors. I think Team Vit, and I might be wrong here, are the younger of the 2 teams. But but between them, they've got a huge amount of experience.
Yeah, and if we're watching into it, Club Nautico Sevilla is having the youngest players with youngest player in tonight's battle. It's Henry. They put him in on the sideline. They wrote, "Hey, can he be part of our team? He's part of our club. He's the youngest." Rest of them are almost like the Daltons. They are in one big happy family. It's the Papero brothers and the family, and then they have Rausenlark. And I have a small story about Rausenlark because Rausenlark. He called me last year and said, "Thomas, I love Esailing. We love it in our club. I wanted to make it bigger in our club and see the result now." And then he organized the first club championship ever broadcasted. And that was Club Nautico Sevilla doing that. And actually, they had a format where they were doing 6 races. And he won the first 5 races. And then he himself made the rule that the winner takes it all in the last race. And there he got 6 and lost the race. So very unlucky by him. Very unlucky. So,
but Club Nautico Sevilla, obviously from Spain. We've had the Italians just go out in the semi-final. 2 of the biggest inshore e-sailing nations there are. The French, I think, who were the dominating force right across e-sailing. I think within the inshore game in the recent years have kind of lost out a bit to the Spanish, who've now come up and are reigning supreme at the moment, and the Italians as well, who are really strong. So that's the basics of Club Nautico Sevilla. That's the CNS team. They come from a nation that's got real strength in depth of sailors. They could choose, they could choose as many sailors as you wanted in a team, and they'd all be top-notch, top quality. Against VIT, who are a new international team made up of a variety of sort of individual sailors, really, but all of them very good in their own right.
Yeah, and with that said, race officers, start the race. We are ready. Race number 1 coming up. It's the laser. It's 5v5, and let's take it away. Let's see some cool action. And in the chat, who will win this race? Will it be Team Wit or will it be Club Nautico Sevilla? I know a lot of Club Nautico Sevilla fans are sitting out there following exactly this race, but Team Wit has a lot of fans around the world.
1 minute to go in our first race of this final of the ISPO Team Race Invitationals. And it is everyone from both teams on the water.
Yeah.
So we've got 5 against 5, a fleet of 10, and let's just go through them. Let's see who we've got.
Yeah, if we're taking a small presentation, the captain, Vit Farley, he's here from Team Vit, and Ramon, the team captain of Club Nautico Sevilla. But right now, 22 seconds to start. Lucas, they are battling. Some of the boats are in front of the starting line. Why?
Yeah, it's a known starting technique to start going downwind in the laser. It's quite good because you gain a lot of speed just going into the start. So if you do it right, you'll have a big advantage towards the other boats on the start line.
In this first race then of the final, and Ramon, who we've been talking up, picks up a penalty right at the very start. Rouse and lag penalty for him as well. So 2 penalties for the Spanish team, not the best of starts.
But also a very nervous Arthur Farley doing a false start for the 3rd time tonight. And when we saw the interview, I had to say in the break, I said, he looks a little bit nervous, the young Farley, because this race means so much for him. We know he's a top sailor, but he needs to control those nerves. A little bit like Le Manoir from France. Been at World Championship 2 times, but all the times his nerves was killing him in the final.
Yeah, and it's not just about being a good sailor. It's about, like in any sport, it's about knowing how to control yourself, your emotions, your mind. There's an element of psychology as well. But having said that, all that about Farley, for Filippo Lanfranchi, the captain of the Italian team, former world champion, he was just telling me off air that he reckons Arthur Farley is the best young player out there at the moment, and he's expecting huge things from him in this coming season of Esailing.
And now the battle begins. In the lead, it's Chico P. Melo from Portugal, team with Lord Bury is with him, but Ramon wins position over on this side to second. Can he come up and do something with that dominating wit start? And Lucas, what shall he do to make sure rest of his team can come back and help him out in the lead? It is a team race.
Yeah, I think just VIT, they're just really in control of this race. They had the best start by far, and it's up to them now to make the mistake and let CNS back in the race.
Jay.
So Parejo coming in to this ley line, and Bart Lambrex just in front of him.
Yeah, and this is a very important battle because see here, they're coming from starboard, Alec. The two Parejo, J and C Parejo brothers coming in. Vit, the three Vit players are here. So Bart and Briggs doing a great job making sure they cannot come in front of them, cross in front of them, and have to ride away. So great stuff by Bart and Briggs, actually winning momentum for his team.
Well, the tactics by Vit are working because they are leading. They are the leading boats coming into this top mark for the first time. CNS Louis trying to come in from the outside, but it's Vit that have the control here. And what they've got to be careful of now is just not to inflict any penalties on each other. That would be a silly, careless move. Those three boats around, Bart Lambrex holding back the Spanish.
Oof, penalty there. Great move. And Arthur Farley also winning against C. Paparo. So, Vit is doing a great job, Alec. So.
Yeah, yes, he is. And we'll see how this unfolds. So, Vit doing, as you said, really well. First through to fourth. And the Spanish, look at those Spanish flags, all stuck there. The only, like Vit Farley, now in the middle, trying to disrupt them. But the battle now, really, in this team race is going to happen in the middle of the fleet, where Bart Lambrex and Arthur Farley are trying to get ahead of those Spanish boats.
Yeah, and the most also important thing, can J. Pavaro sneak away, get close enough to capture one of the leading boats, and then make it even more exciting. But right now, it's all about Bart Lambrex, and it's all about Vit Farley, what Club Nautical Sevilla needs to do. And Lucas, how can they speed up J. Paparo, or is there no speed boost, or can they throw an engine after him? Can they buy anything in the game that can make him speed up?
No, unfortunately not. They're going to have to do it by having better tactics on this last upwind leg.
So now you're speaking about tactics upwind leg. Here we're seeing the upwind leg. We see the wind socks in the top left corner. We see some different coloring in the blue water. So what are you watching for as a top player to get some speed into your boat?
So the first thing we look at is the 3 wind socks in the minimap. And then we look for the darker patches on the water to kind of think of our tactics and where to go, or which side to go. No, the different legs.
Check.
55 is the cutoff point. 55 points in this, and currently, Vit have around about 32. The positions are changing slightly, but around about 32. So they are well inside victory, and the Spanish need to do something. They need not just to worry about Lambrex and Farley in 6th and 7th. They need to start chasing the leading 3 boats.
Yeah, they need to do something, but can J. Paparo get close enough to attack the last boat up there, Chico P. Melo? Can he get close enough to get some wind shadow on him? I think it looks hard. We're seeing the battle behind here. Farley losing again to Rouse and Lark. That's more just, how can you see, painting the mistakes for CNS, but it's J. Paparo that needs to do something great up here.
Penalty to Bart Lambrex.
Yeah.
And he's fighting it out with Ramon Parejo.
they also know each other quite well. They were having some great battles for going into the World Championship this year, but it was Pepero going all the way and also was crowned vice world champion. But Bartlett Briggs was at the World Championship last year.
Yeah, I mean, huge pedigree for all these sailors. I'm just watching now. This Ramon, I think that is slowing down, trying to slow Lambrex down, trying to gain positions on him. The further back Lambrex goes, obviously that the increase in points, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
It's very, very, very close. But they have first, second, and third up there, Lucas. Can they do anything? They're keeping the two others behind, but is that good enough?
No, VIT have done a really, really good job in just controlling the race and making sure they had enough lead to hold on to the top 3 positions.
Vit came out from the start with a strategy to control the race, and they did that and were in the lead. They had the first 4 boats, in fact, going up to that top mark. And then I suspect the strategy also included Bart Lambrex then dropping back to disrupt the Spanish attack. And it's worked. Vit haven't looked like losing this race since halfway up the first leg. So congratulations to Vit. It's 1-0 to them, and the Spanish have a real battle on their hands now.
Yeah, and Lucas, I have one question for you. How do these guys communicate in this race format? Because it needs a lot of communication to do what Team Wit just did.
Well, I think all the teams are on voice chat with each other. I think that is a key thing to winning a team race, is that you're being able to communicate properly with your teammates.
And with that said, communication-wise, then let's have a communication for all of you to have a confirmation. First, second, and third goes to Team Wit. That's 6 points. And then we have 9 and 10 to Team Wit. Barton Briggs, Farley, that's 19 points. That's 25 points in total. Then we have CNS in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7. That's 9 plus 13 and an 8. That's 30 points in total. So it's a victory 25 towards 13 to Team Wit. And here we can see the confirmation. It's actually Martin Fernandez doing a great upwind start. That penalty he made to Ramon in the start, you can see the battle at number 1, was doing the difference and pressuring Club Nautico Sevilla from the start.
Well, there we go. First blood to Team Vit. And can CNS come back from that? I suspect they can. Hugely experienced Spanish players, and they're used to sailing under pressure in a way that some of the Vit players are not, because we've seen these CNS players make the finals and semi-finals of some huge events over recent years.
Yeah, we can just take the team. I'm calling them the youngsters. Barton Briggs, I think almost all ESLTP Grand Finals, qualifier finals, we had him in, almost qualifying to the Grand Final. Then we had him in the World Championship 2019. We saw him in the top in the qualification for the World Championship. And then we have the youngsters or the newcomers, Martin Fernandez, Chico P. Mello. We saw a group called Best Esport Team creating a whole tournament in Portugal. And those two was in the lead in the Portuguese league all the time. But is that good enough against Club Nautico Sevilla? They know each other quite well, professional sailors, coaches, and also maybe sitting in the same room and playing at the same time. That is the question. And we're getting ready for the next race, Alec. It's a 4 versus 4 in the J-boat. And with Team Vit sitting down there, we're getting ready.
Yep, 4 against 4, so a fleet of 8, obviously. And we haven't started the clock yet, so they are just sort of working out where they want to be. They're checking the color of the water. They're trying to work out where the breeze is. And it's the J70, which is obviously a bigger but faster boat than the Laser. Normally a crewed boat, but obviously it's crewed by one in this game. Yeah. We're looking down at the Spanish team,
And there to
and
go.
they've got the green sails. So it's the green sails of Spain against the white-coloured sails of the international team VIT, and 40 seconds to go. And Lucas, just quickly, where would you want to be? Which end of the line?
I think you want to spread out your team so you have one on each end at least. So you have controlling positions on each side of the course.
And right now, let's go to 2D just to see it here from top. And they're spreading out, Alec.
Yeah, there we go. So we've got two boats over on the far left. And so you want this green boat on the right-hand side is in a good position there, but picks up a penalty.
Oh.
And then you've... So I'd say a fairly even split there with a couple of Spanish boats stuck in the middle and loads of penalties being handed out.
Yeah, but it's a good start for Team Wit again, because a very slow start for Jay Paparo. He hit the committee boat, need to do a 360 because he also crosses the starting line and then went out of the start with a penalty, or else he was in a very good position. Then we have a great start for Farley and Martin Fernandez in the opposite side. And right now, friendly fire in the middle. Club Nautical Sevilla, Ramon killing his brother. See Paparo there. So slowing down his teammate, just to make sure to come into the lead. So, where is the battle right now, Lucas? We have Martin Fernandez and Bartlam Briggs in control here. So, what can they do?
So I think VIT at the moment, they're doing what we call a ley line push. So they're pushing the CNS team out to the left. So in that way, they can cover the CNS team all the way to the mark.
Bartlam Briggs inflicting a penalty on Ralston Lark, pushing them away. Ramon pushed out, but one is not pushed away. It's Jay Paparo, but is in a good enough position to cross in and go in front of them from a starboard, Alec. That's the question here.
It looks like VIT have taken control of the race. It's the same or similar tactics to what we saw in the first race. It'll be interesting as they come into this top mark to just see what the difference is between them and how many VIT boats there are in the leading five.
And this battle is very important. Chico against C. Paparo. Again, Chico, last time was Bartlam Briggs here, but can he come close enough? Two boats coming into the mark rounding zone. Martin Fernandez, Bartlam Briggs, Arthur Farley. Oof, it's dominating what they're doing here.
Yeah, what we're going to see now is a mark trap from Chico, slowing down all of CNS so the three VIT players can get away.
Yeah. So VIT in control. They round the mark. They head downwind. They launch their spinnaker. Then it's 3 seconds until the boat accelerates away as it fills with breeze. And Rausenlag getting a penalty there from Chico. Chico's role right now is just to be disruptive, to be a complete pain in the neck to the Spanish boats. They want to try and catch the leading three boats, and it's Chico's job to break them up, to ruin those attacks and that comeback.
Yeah, and last time it was Ramon doing that against MCS Italy, and he did a triple penalty. Chico, he just did a double penalty, but he did enough to slow down Ramon. But it looks like Ramon sneaks into the battle and has a chance maybe to capture Bartlam Briggs. It's all about meters now. See Paparo in the right-hand side, opposite Ramon. But it's Bartlam Briggs, it's Arthur Farley, it's Martin Fernandez. They are sneaking away. So, Lucas, what can Ramon do now? What can he cross his fingers to do?
their only way back in this race is if they manage to catch at least one of the VAT players in front of them.
So, Alec, the downwind is very important for Ramon. He's the first boat coming in, the leader of an NCS, Club Nautical Sevilla. Can he capture Barton Briggs? And it looks like he's close enough.
Well, this boat has a downwind wind shadow of 30 meters, and so the downwind is crucial. And that wind shadow, if you can affect the boat in front, your opponent in front will have a 2-knot slowing effect, and that's how and that is significant, because that is enough if you've got the distance to catch the man in front. But at the moment, I don't think it's looking good for Ramon.
Now, right now it doesn't look good because Jay Papero is giving him wind shadow. So he's under pressure by his own boat while he's attacking Bartlett Briggs. But it looks like he's getting closer and closer to Bartlett Briggs. But can he manage to capture him before the finish line and slow him so much down that the rest of the team can come in front of him? I think it looks a little bit impossible for him. But let's see, the battle is on.
CNS are running out of racetrack. VIT are in control once again. They've dominated this second race. And it's Martim, it's Farley, the captain, and it's Bart Lambrex across the finish line. And that's good enough to make it 2-0 to VIT.
Yeah, and what a dominant race. I'm really looking forward to again see the stats, because here in this race, we are seeing a team dominating the first upwind leg. And Lucas, that's quite extraordinary in these slow boats, that you're dominating already from the start.
Yeah, especially in this level of racing. It's not very common that one team dominates a race like this.
No, but confirmation, Martin Fernandez, Vitt Farley, Lambrex in first, second and third. Then we have Club Nautical Sevilla, Ramon, J. Papero, C. Papero, Rausenlag, and then Chico Pimelo last. But it doesn't matter anything in these team race. And see here the domination. Chico had the best start, but dropped down and ending last, because he was going to disrupt, as Alex said, at the top mark, and he did a very good job of that, and that leading Barton Briggs into top 3 and making them win the race. And let's just for a good, just have the confirmation, let's go in to Silverings. Confirmation, it's 2-0 for Team Wit. They now have 3 match points, winning this grand final at the ISPO Munich Team Race Invitationals. But Alec, we are going into the EF50, and that is normally a Spanish discipline we're going to see.
Yeah.
2 sec.
But Team VIT looked really strong in the F50 in the semi-final, and do you know, I fancy this could be a clean sweep for Team VIT, and I think they might win the F50, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because they have a player like Bartlett Briggs on the team, as we said earlier.
I almost predicted who was going to win that race, and then I thought, no, I'm not gonna commit. I'm not gonna commit.
Don't do a Lucas. Now we're just calling it a Lucas because he was new and throw the commentator's curse on Filippo. So almost throwing it on Team Wit. The race officers is starting the race, so let's join in and watch it. This is the EF50, the fastest boat in the game. Who will win this? Will it be Club Nautical Sevilla, or will it be Team Wit, who has 3 match points to win the race? Let's get ready to some action. And Alec, the crowd goes wild. The chat says, Team Wit, Team Wit. They have a lot of fans out there, the youngsters. But Club Nautical Sevilla and the Spanish team, see, they also have their own CLTP team. So it is a Spanish discipline.
Well, the start will give us a good indication, and that first mark on the reach will give us a good indication of how this is going to go. And already an advantage over here on the left-hand side Two Spanish boats in the middle. They're accelerating away. The penalty for Jay Parejo has now passed and elapsed. And they are go in this third race. Victory, remember, for Team Vit will mean victory overall in the final. It'll be 3-0, and that's enough in this best of 5. But it's two Spanish boats, Luis and Enrique, out in front. And it's really close with Biri and Farley right behind.
It's very, very close, but we saw Club Nautica Sevilla against MCS Italia also having this lead and then dropping down, not against MTS, against Team Scotland, and then coming back. And Rid, the youngest player, getting a penalty, but then Barton Brick sailing into the mark, inflicting a penalty to himself. So, Lucas, this is a very open race. What to do? We see a battle in the middle. Paparo and Farley. Henry and Farley.
It looks like VIT, they've gotten a really nice comeback into this race after a not so great start. And I also see CNS doing a couple of small mistakes that's costing them the lead.
What were those mistakes, Lucas?
I think there's the split they made after the reaching mark. 2 of the CNS players going out in less breeze. And that's really not the best move in such fast boats.
Farley with a penalty, dropping down to position 6, closely following into Jay Paparo. It's Barton Bricks in the lead. This is his favorite boat. Then we have Luis. He's taking over the lead now. Luis, he can do a trap, actually the D'Amato trap, where he slows down the leading boat and then making 3rd place, or his teammate behind coming up and penalized him. Interesting call what's coming in here.
Right now, Farley needs to move up because otherwise it's going to be a CNS victory. It's early days in this race, but yeah, worth keeping an eye on the...
penalty! Lord Bury just takes Henry in a penalty, but that's making room for Jay Paparo. So, switching positions amongst the Spanish sailors.
Out in front is Luis, and then there's Bartland Brex. Look how close it is. Those 3 leading boats, just 40 meters between them. That is nothing in an EF50. They travel so fast. And remember, they're trying to reduce the number of maneuvers and tacks and jives and so on. Cross comes in.
A cross attack on Bartland Brex. What a move by Luis and Jay Paparo, may be giving a point to Club Nautical Sevilla.
That was a very, very important moment to get a penalty on VIT. So well done by CNS.
Good move then from CNS.
Oh.
They try to continue their lead. A penalty for CNS. I didn't see that. Did he hit the mark?
Yeah, he hit the mark. He lost control of this fast boat and then steering directly into the mark. But a very bad tack by Bartland Bricks and Lord Bury in this case. So it's all up to Arthur Farley to make them come back in this race.
Because the boats are so fast, the slightest mistake on attack just loses you huge amounts of time. That's why there's pressure. Even when there's no pressure within the race, there's pressure to get it right in your controls and your crew work on board the boat. But right now, it's CNS first and second. Arthur Farley, who's moved up. He's done well from the back of the fleet. He's up there in 3rd now. And then we've got Biri and Bartland Brex and Henry of CNS. But CNS have the advantage right now overall.
Yeah, and they need to control Farley. Oof, almost going out of the boundary just to the line and Lord Bury. So they need to win that battle. But when Jay Paparo crosses up towards the top mark, he will not have the right of way. Then both Arthur Farley and Lord Bury will attack him. There, penalty comes in. Now it's a battle, Alec. Who will win this game?
The VIT team are on the attack. They're on the comeback right now. And the Spanish are getting all caught up in traffic. And Biri and who's that? The Luis as well has lost the lead now. Biri goes ahead. Vit have taken the lead from CNS Lewis, and then it's Vit in third as well with Bart Lambrex, and suddenly Vit have the advantage.
It's not over yet. Only penalty to Luis made by Farley. But now Jay Papero can penalize Farley. Bartlett bricks on the inside. Oh, almost friendly fire. Hitting the mark. It's game over, CNS.
It was a fight all the way to the end. Lucas in the commentary box held his head in his hands. He couldn't believe what he saw there. We'll talk through what went wrong for the Spanish in a moment, but it's victory, a third victory in a row for Vit, and that means this final is theirs.
So a victory to Team Vit, taking first, second, and third. And let's see the chart here. Oh, they have the same color here, but see how they're switching position at this last top mark at number 6. There, everything went wrong. Or I have to say, Team Vit managed to do a trap, capturing them in starboard and have to ride away. Lucas, what do you say to this one?
I think this just shows that the F50 is one of the best boats for team racing. It really just punishes a tiny mistake, and that can ruin your whole race, as we just saw in this one.
So this is what we say a victory for Team Vit against Team CNS. So let's have the team captains in studio in a few sec. And while we're waiting for them, let's go in studio and just talk through what we just experienced.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot technically, Thomas, because I would like to speak to Lucas. I want to just bring his voice in if we can, because I could see you on the camera going, oh, like that, right at that final mark. So what did the Spanish do wrong? Tell us about the small mistake that made a difference.
Well, I think VIT, they did a good job at staying close and pressuring CNS the whole time. And that's what you want to do when you're behind. You really want to try pressure the other team into making these small mistakes that in the end cost them the race.
Do you think there was, I mean, what could the Spanish have done? The attack was so clever from Team Vit. Was there any defense that would have worked against it?
I think the final match, or the final penalty of this race, was when they all tacked at the right-hand side boundary on the last upwind mark. That was where the race was decided. I think Luis had to slow down the two VIT players behind him even more so Jay Parejo could tack in front and cross the upwind mark in first place.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised by how easy a victory it was for Team Vit in the end, 3-0?
Definitely. I think the races were, or some of the races were closer than a 3-0 loss. Definitely.
And guys, now we have the first team captain joining in. That is Team CNS Ramon. Let's join him in studio. Let's have him in our mix zone. Ramon, please turn on your camera. We are ready for you. Alec wants to hear about actually this amazing game, this amazing 3 races, and the result doesn't tell the whole story. But let's have it in. Ramon coming in mix zone here.
Ramon, bad luck. Can you sum up how that match went? What went wrong?
Well, in 2 first races, we had a very bad start. That's all, because when you have all the team in back, it's very difficult with a team like Vit to win any one of them. And in the last race, we have already we could win, but only one mistake at top mark, and one mistake can lose a game. it's easy.
Yeah, and tell us about your semi-final. Presumably, obviously, you were happy with the result, but did you perform better in the semi-final from the final, do you think?
Yeah, I think we have better communication in semi-final than in final, and it was very important. Next time, I think.
Next time. You guys are great e-sailors. We see you in so many big races, big regattas, and I'm sure we're going to see you plenty over the next 12 months of the season.
We will have any opportunity.
And that was Club Nautical Sevilla's team captain Ramon, and very close race. The result is not lying. It's 3-0 for Team Wit, but again, as he said, one small mistake, and we just saw it at the top mark here in the 50. Then everything can change. It looks for a long time that we're going into another race, but let's go into the mix zone for Arthur Farley, the team captain and the winner of the ISPO Munich Team Race Invitational.
Arthur, congratulations. 2 interviews in one night. That just proves how good a night it has been. Tell us about the tactics in those first 3 races then.
Can you guys hear me for a start? Is that better? The voice? Okay, good. The laser, we just tried to get a better start than the semi-final. We had a pretty bad start in that semi-final, so we tried to get off the line a bit better, control the race a bit more. We did pretty well in that, and then the J70, we had a better start again. So that was useful. We just picked the 2 off. I think it was Ramon and another boat, which was in the top 4 that we needed to put back behind Chico to do the mark trap at the top mark, which ended the race. And then the F50, it's all about the start. In most situations, it's all about that start and making sure you're close enough to them to put pressure on and wait for them to make the mistake, which they did in the end. But it came pretty close. So,
well, congratulations, well done. And it's a new team. Are we going to see you guys together in other regattas?
Yeah, so we actually made the team that you see an esports team. So we're just looking into sponsorship, and we have a manager called Jay. He's running everything for us, and we're trying to bring more into the sport, and hopefully bring more media and more players, which should be great fun.
And what are your plans then? Just finally, kind of what are you planning over the next year? Then, what are your objectives personally?
I really want to qualify for the ESWC, the finals,
World Championships, sure.
Yeah. Either through, I have a few targets, the rankings, the winner of the rankings gets to go, or the Sail GP Grand Final. I don't think the Olympic Regatta will have any chance, but maybe through those 2 or the F50 in the playoffs. So that's the in-game targets, and obviously in sailing I have different ones, but yeah, I'm looking forward to a good season with the team and the game.
Arthur, best of luck. Look forward to watching you in action over the next 12 months.
Okay, thank you guys.
Wow, Alec. He just mentioned what's going to happen this season, the young lad. Sail GP Grand Final, Prada Cup Final, Olympic Series, ranking list, and the World Championship.
And the former world champion, Filippo Lanfranchi, said, watch out for that guy. He's really impressive. We're going to see a lot of him over this coming season. And he's just said that, that's absolutely correct. That's exactly what he's planning. But what poise and confidence, 17 years old, just 17 years old, as he pointed out. And well, we look forward to him taking on some of the best in e-sailing over the coming season.
And with that said, Alec, thank you for you, and also thank you to Lucas Moore for joining in this studio tonight at the ISPO Munich Team Race Invitational. And for all of you out there that's been watching this for the first time, let's end up with this fantastic video. This is how you can play Virtual Regatta inshore. So Alec, as we say, cheers out.